Welcome to the zoning board of April 4th, 2023. My name is Matty Akins. I'm the chairman, Mr. Vice Chair. Mr. Radell, Mr. Himmel, Mr. Chin, Mr. O'Brien, the Director of Inspectional Services, Mr. Conlon, our clerk, Ms. Noonan, and we'll go right into it tonight. New business, case number, 2269, Marcus Morelli, for variance to construct a second floor rear addition on the premise number 14 Nelson Street. The applicant and representative here.
How do you want to swear people in?
Yeah. If anyone's going to testify tonight, I think you might testify. Please raise your right hand. Stand up, raise your right hand. If you could, Mr. Chin. If anyone's going to testify tonight, if you don't take an oath, you're not going to testify.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in the matter now in hearing?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, why don't you tell us what you want to do in your property?
So my wife and I are looking to build
Name and address for the record.
Marcus Moraldi, 14 Nelson Street,
Yep.
02169.
Yep.
We moved here in 2018 from Boston, and we now have 2 young children, and we're looking to build an addition on the rear of our property. It's a 2-family residence that came equipped with a very small studio apartment that I'd like to upgrade into a nicer above ground. It's currently a garden level apartment, so I'd like to end up with a 2-bedroom rental unit and then maintain the 4-bedroom home for us. We'd be taking off a old garage on the front of the house
Right.
and building the 2-story addition on the back of the house.
So when you're done, you'll have 4 spaces out front?
4 parking spaces, 2 for the rental unit, 2 for us,
Okay.
and then, yeah, then everything else.
It's kind of a, I mean, the shape of that,
Yeah, the lot is very narrow and long.
down.
Yeah, so we're
Gonna
seeking,
be a cost factor there, of course.
yeah, we're seeking leniency on the side easement.
Well, they're already there, you're just extending them, you know?
Yeah,
Already
exactly.
non-conforming, right?
Yeah.
All right. I have no questions, anyone?
I have no questions.
No question.
No, not this time.
Thank you.
Is there any, you can have a seat. Does anyone want to speak in favor? Anyone want to speak in favor, first call? Second call? Third call closed. We have a letter here from DPW. We reviewed the above referenced project and have no comments. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? Please step forward, state your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, I mean, that's, they said if you're not adding any additional.
My name is Michael Hartnett. I live at 12 Nelson Street, right next door. I have a few complaints about what he wants to do.
Okay.
First of all, we've been living there for 4 years, and the place as a whole, it's a mess.
Yep.
I think he wants to build right up to the property line.
What he has is, the way his house is right now, I can show it to you right here if you want to come up. I'll just show you what he's doing. Here's his plot plan. So. You on there? Okay. So, this is the, yeah, well, here it is right here.
I'm just gonna say next page we got.
Yeah, next page.
Keep going, one more.
Oh. Here we are. So what he's doing is, here's his house, he's taking the front of that off, that whole garage, that whole section, that used to be the old garage and made over, and looked like it's like holy hell. That's where the parking's gonna go, 2 and 2. No, those are gonna be gone. He's taking, no, there isn't. There's enough room for 2.
Yeah, it's 12 feet, I mean 18 feet right there.
Yeah, plus, no, I got like.
No, I thought you got 20.
21, 22 out there. Now, here's what he's at. Well, you can only, he's got 2 spaces for him and 2 for his tenants, and that's what he's gonna have to do. He's got That's the addition he's putting on. So these already, he's just extending his house back 20 feet. That's what he's doing.
So this addition will be as high as this.
Correct.
Okay, 32 feet from the. Well, it says 25.
No, that's the width,
That's the width.
Okay.
20 by 26.
And
That's the width of the house.
and it's not building up right up against.
No,
Okay.
no.
But isn't there a law that says you?
Yeah, but
10 feet away from
13. But he's extending, no, this is all non-conforming. It's already there.
Yes.
Yeah,
They're just going straight. You can do that.
We can do that?
No, you can do that.
Yeah, it's
You
not-
can, you can
as long as
take
you're in
the
the same
house
line.
and go straight, in a straight line. You can't move out, you can't move, you can move in, but you can't move out. No, he's not. No, he's not. Here's the thing. When he gets a permit, this is what has to be built. If it isn't, they have to rip it down.
Is there a timeframe on this?
All right, once you go back, now you know what that is. Let everyone else hear. Let him finish. Oh, no, you want to finish? Sure. You have the floor, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to sit down.
yeah, it was just.
Let everyone hear.
Yeah, he has a downspout on the side of the house there now. It's been gone for years. It's dropping water right into onto my property. He doesn't seem to finish anything. He starts about a year ago. He took some siding off the back and left the rest of it there. And on a windy day, came flying across my porch. If I'd been out there, it would have taken my head off. So he has a record of not finishing anything. That's why I asked you if there's a time limit on when he has to finish this.
He's got to start it within a year. And in a certain time frame, he should get his building finished because he's paying, you pay taxes every year, it goes up for 4 years. If you don't finish, you're being taxed on it, so you might as well do it, finish it.
But is there anybody gonna check to see what that he's abiding?
Inspectors go out there all the time and make sure everything's done. That's all I can tell you. Mr. Conlon, would you like to speak about that?
Well, all it says, the building code says the work has to be ongoing, continuous. If he stops for any length of time, he'd have to come back here. He wouldn't be able to continue. The job has to be.
What's that length of time? What's the length of time?
There's no length of time, sir. It's just as long as the work is ongoing.
As long as he's keep working at it, he's saying.
Yeah, but if he stops working on it, is there a time?
Call the building department. Call the building department and we'll go down there. They will go down there.
Because before he moved in, the street was respectable. Ask anybody who drives by there now, he's got junk out the front, he's got all kinds of plastic laying around, he's got sheeting blowing off the house. It's a mess. Is this new piece gonna be like that?
I would say not, it's brand new. I hope he would have it built right.
He's got a brand new shed down the back. It was built about 3 years ago, and the plastic is all over my fence.
So he didn't put nothing on top of
He
the
put no
box?
siding on it, he put no roof, he put tar paper on it, but no shingles.
Yeah. Like the side and the front,
Yeah, the front.
like the front of the house?
Yeah. He started that porch about 3 or 4 years ago, he never finished it. And the plastic is blowing all over me. I picked up a piece of plastic off my yard today that he blew off his house.
Should have put it on his front door for him.
I'm a law-abiding
I
citizen.
would've gave him I would've gave him a present. Thank you. Anyone else? Close on the side, council?
James Devine, 117 Cross Street. Few other neighbors have addressed concerns. I don't believe it's for you guys only, but I said I would mention it. The house has been worked on randomly, sporadically. It's a disaster.
Yeah,
I think it's probably gonna be more for issuing a permit or something, to put contingencies on it, but I just said I would mention that the house is dilapidated, a lot of trash around the place, things like that, so just, I said I'd mention it. We'll probably be looking for, during the permit, to make sure that there's some type of contingency that they clean
we'll
up the
take care of
yard.
it.
Okay?
Thank you, council.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Last call? Call up out of here and close. Could the, yeah, the applicant please come up? Is the applicant still here?
Mr. Morelli?
Please step forward. A lot of accusations by a lot of people in the neighborhood saying you're not keeping your house clean. I drove up there a few years ago on another project, and it's the same way it was when I drove by it then. So here's what we're gonna do, and I'd like the board to do, we'll talk about it. You gotta clean your place up first.
Okay.
Clean it all up, and come back here and see us. If everyone's in agreement, let's give him a month, get his place all cleaned up, and we'll take a ride by there. And if it's not cleaned up enough, then we'll wait another month. We'll just put it off, because enough's enough. I mean, we had this before up in Wallace, and it was a nut. The guy had motors and cars. It probably took him 3 months to clean it up, but we didn't let him build anything for 3 months, so it's up to him, clean it up. You know, it's an eyesore, and you shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be doing that to your neighbors, you really shouldn't.
Sure, fair enough.
So, we'll make a decision, you can sit here and wait.
All right.
Thanks, guys, what do you think?
Yeah, give them a month at the bad site.
It is, it's bad, it's been like that because we've had a couple other projects that we built up there. It's been the same like that for years. I know he bought it like that probably, but
My only,
didn't do nothing to fix it up.
my only question, Marty, is, does he understand what this board means by cleaned up?
Yep.
To what degree are you talking about cleaning it up? Are you talking about anything specific on the property?
Well, I want his yard all cleaned up, I like to find any paper that's hanging and blowing all over the
that's
place,
coming
tack
down.
back down. Yeah, it's coming down, but tack it back up, make sure, before it's ripped down, before he gets a permit. I mean,
Just
I
want to make
think we
sure he
all-
understands that.
Yeah, well, do you understand what we're saying? We want the yard clean, like your neighbors.
I've done a lot of work to prepare for
All right.
this project.
Yeah.
I had done some work on the front of the house
Yeah.
to make it functional for us when we moved in. The
Yeah.
house was in very bad shape when we purchased it,
Yeah,
and the interior was very.
please let him speak.
I appreciate that things have gotten a bit out of control.
Mhm.
We have two very small children.
No, I get it.
Working very hard to try to build ourselves a life and be a part of that community. We're nothing but kind to our neighbors.
Yeah,
And I've spoken about this project with Michael
Mm-hmm.
personally.
yep,
So I hope that they can have faith that we are doing the best we can as a young couple, trying to build our family and our life, and that everything takes some time. And I stopped working on things because the front of the house is non-conforming, and trying to fix it up the way that I was
yeah.
became a problem with the building department, so we started to plan this larger project that
I have one more question.
take care of.
Who's gonna do the work?
I'm the licensed contractor. I was gonna do the work myself, and
Small or large license? You have a large license, small license?
I have an unrestricted license.
All right, I guess he gets it then, he's been around the business, you just gotta get it done and get it cleaned up and, so, Small, do you think you can do that in a month?
Yes, I can clean up my yard.
All right, date? Huh?
Can I say something?
No, no, huh? May 9th? How's that work?
May 9th?
Yeah,
Yes.
have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, ZBA 2269, Marcus Moraldi for a variance to construct a second floor rear addition on the premise number 14 Nelson Street, Quincy. I make a motion to move that to May 9th.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so moved. Anyone that wants to come here May 9th, if you're a butter and it's not going right, please let us know, but we're gonna go up there and look at the property.
I used to live at 122 before. I lived next door to this before.
It's a nice one.
Further on to tonight's agenda, ZBA 2313, Nick Wilson for variance to add a first floor bedroom and bathroom handicap ramp and a new doorway in the premises 124 Mayflower Road. The applicant representative here.
Good
Name
evening.
and address for the record, please.
Nicholas Wilson, 124 Mayflower Road.
Tell us what you want to do back there.
We have a disabled 5-year-old daughter that's currently living on the second floor. She's getting bigger, so we're looking to add a first floor bedroom and bathroom, above the handicap ramp, and just extend the driveway out a little bit so that when we do get a handicap accessible vehicle, it's easier to transport her in and out.
Now, I looked at your plan, so you're gonna have a walk-down set of stairs now going into the bulkhead. It's gonna be
Yeah,
covered-
sorry, yeah, we were gonna extend the basement out to the same footprint of that first floor.
Just that corner. All right, and then you have a walk-down set of stairs there.
Yep.
And then you're coming out about 8 feet from your property line, is that correct? Something like that?
I think it's 10, but yeah.
Something like, yeah, I just went down and walked it, and I was just trying to see if you're on the side there, I know you're close, but, and the ramp, so you're you'll be putting in a double slider?
Yep, on that part of the house right there, and the ramp will come right from the driveway, right up to that door right there.
Very good. Any questions?
I'm not at this time.
No questions.
You can have a seat.
Thank you.
Is there anyone want to speak in favor? Name and address, please.
Debbie Riley, 9 Rangrain Street. Nick and Darlene are my neighbors, and I know they're girls. I know that it's a great opportunity to keep them in the neighborhood. It's obviously a challenging situation for them to have to accommodate, so I think that it's a great opportunity to keep them in and allow them to accommodate her needs.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Is there anyone else like to speak in favor? Second call? Last call? All part of the hearing closed. Got a letter here from the DPW. They reviewed the buffer project and have no comments. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? First call? Second call? Third call closed. I know he's cutting on that side and coming in close, but the circumstances he's living under right now, it's, I know it's not making an apartment because it isn't, because you gotta go in the kitchen and around to get into the room, so.
Yeah.
There's a door there, you know, just to walk down the cellar, but I'll be voting in favor.
I'm in favor.
In favor.
In favor as well, likewise.
Can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, ZBA 22-13, Nick Wilson for a variance to add a first floor bedroom and a bathroom, handicap ramp, and a new doorway on the premise numbered 124 Mayflower Road, Quincy. Make a motion to grant the variance.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Thank you.
Further on the tonight's agenda, CBA 2314, JCB Architect for variance special permit floodplain to construct a 3.5-story single-family home with a roof deck on a vacant lot in premise 84 Post Island Road. The applicant and representative here. No one here?
Yeah, we are.
Post Island? You have the floor, tell us what you want to do.
There was an existing home that was destroyed during the hurricane from 2018, March 2nd. We pulled a building permit, took that home down, documented that the home had it registered with the Norfolk County Registry of Deeds with our attorney. And since that house was about 1,700 square feet and it really encroached on the neighbors' properties, we spoke to all the neighbors, everybody's in favor to move the house forward on the property lot, build approximately 2,500 square foot house, 3 stories high, nice deck outside, build a real good quality house. And one of the neighbors came, Brenda, today.
You got a roof deck, it's like 40 feet, right? So the roof deck house, that's like what, 5 feet
It's gonna be
higher
50.
than it should be?
No,
The house?
we took that all out. The house is gonna be at 35 feet.
Okay.
Top
That was
elevation.
my question, because the one I
Yes.
have here says 38, 39.5 or
I
something.
brought a current plan, you may have the old one.
Well, we do. I don't have a new one, I don't think we got a new one, did you? No. Holy moly.
Oh, yeah, no, it's the stairs.
No, then they got the
Yeah, the stairs head house.
They had a,
stairs in the house.
Is that the most recent? Okay.
When did you change these?
2 weeks ago.
Do you think to call the department so we'd have time to read these and look at?
We hired them to take care of this stuff. And it's probably
Hired who?
Jay,
Yeah, Jason, yeah. He's not here with you tonight?
they
fire him.
they told me I didn't even need to speak.
So you told him to fire, did you fire him?
I told him that 3 times already. I mean, it's taking so long.
And he still comes back. Great for his check.
So this is just gonna be access from the stairs. This is just gonna be access, this is 15 foot by 15 foot. And, I have a nice overhang on the garages.
That elevation's that.
Now, are these stories 9 or 10 feet? 9 feet? Because you get 10 feet, 10 feet 3 between floors. So is it like
That's a
9
frame
foot
and
floor?
front joist.
Right,
Yeah,
but it's the
9 foot.
first floor level.
9
Look at
foot.
look at the level. Right?
Yeah.
And you go up, you go up 10 feet, 10 feet 3 or something. When I was reading them, it just, I just didn't know what, I'm asking, how high is him?
35 feet, so tall.
All right, let's try it one more
between
time.
the
How
joists.
high are the ceilings each floor?
9 feet.
That's what I asked in the beginning.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not for you, everything.
No, I know. But I was looking at that and it didn't seem right.
Because he measured from here to the top.
No, you should have, no, floor to floor, that's like 10.3. I don't know if we're missing 3 inches, somewhere 3, 3, 6, 9.
Oh, yeah.
Another foot missing somewhere.
So this is where the previous house was here,
Yep.
on the lot, which we
Now,
like the bottom here.
so this fence, that fence is in your property, right?
Yes.
All right, the shed. Is he gonna let you use it?
This is Jerry's home, I was with him today.
I'm going.
We did pull a permit correct to take this property down and had it closed out, the building department.
If you can go back up there and let us just take these set of plans, that would be nice. If anyone wants to look at what you're doing, is just taking that top deck doorway out.
It's the same plans you have.
Same thing, just taking it-
Same ones, we have the
You're
updated
just
ones.
gonna have an access, so you just open it up.
You have the updated ones, so
It
it's,
comes to the deck,
before it had, the previous plan had a full level up there, but
like an 8 foot.
it's just the
8'6",
stair access.
yeah. Any questions, the applicant?
No, how did this start?
Did everyone kind of hear what we were talking about up there, the mics? No, yeah?
It's a little better.
Oh, all right. Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor? First call?
Oh, I have one, Post Island,
Just name and address for the record.
Linda Flaherty, 76 Post Island.
Thank you, Linda.
Yeah. It is, I have no problem. He's right behind me.
Okay.
Are you the White House or the blue one?
I'm the yellow.
That further up? Which one's the first one when you go into the left? That yellow?
Well, he's like,
Oh, you're across the street from?
I'm 76 Post Island. He's like
Oh, okay,
two
I
houses.
know you.
Up to the side, you know.
All right. All right,
Yeah, I have no problem with it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else want to speak in favor? Third call, council.
Good evening, guys. Dave McCarthy, Ward 1 Council, 48 Whitney Road. Definitely in favor of the Post Island construction. You know, a lot of houses got repaired down there in a similar way that Chris is gonna do this one, and that empty lot, it'll look nice next to that blue one that we approved not too long ago with the carriage house. Chris has also been on C Street for a number of years, so he knows the area and does good work, so.
Yeah, that carriage house come out nice.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
house.
I'm in full support. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Letter here from the DPW, reading the record.
March 13th, 2023, we've reviewed the submittal for the above referenced project, and our comments are as follows. 1, specify how much impervious area will be increased due to the development. 2, provide plans showing the existing site conditions, layout of utility, grading, drainage, and the construction details. 3, explain how the surface runoff will be discharged and treated. 4, will there be any fill or change of grade due to the development? 5, the submittal package should generally provide a plan denoting the proposed erosion and sediment control practices to be implemented during the construction phase of the project to protect resource area. 6, upon completion of the project, as-built plan showing all utilities, building footprints, reference bounds, and benchmarks defining the total site, faculties, and right-of-ways need to be submitted along with a digital file. If further information is required, please advise.
Is there anyone opposed or undecided? First call? Second call? Third call? We have a letter here.
This is from, do we have an address?
Two houses, 76 or 84. 82 and 86.
It doesn't say which house they are.
You said it's too big of a house, that it's gonna impede on the little houses that are there. And, you know, the sun comes up east or west, it's not gonna impede on anyone on that side. And when the sun comes up, it's going straight. If anyone's gonna impede is the house that was just built there in the morning, early morning, 10 o'clock or something, that's about it.
No address.
There's no address, so. That's who it is and signed, but it doesn't even give you an address. Where's she from?
I've looked through the whole thing.
I know. All that part of the hearing closed. When I first looked at that lot a couple of years ago, I thought someone was gonna try to build something even further down. I'm glad that's built all the way back, and leaving that whole open alley there, so those houses can still get a piece of something. It's not gonna impede in any of their views. You know, which they could have. They could have planned something down there, could have put parking down there, anything, but they didn't, so I'll be voting in favor.
I'm in favor.
In favor.
Just wanted to make two comments. JCBT is now in the room, if you have
Oh.
questions for them.
Oh,
And I want to make sure that the vote is on the new drawings and not the dimensional forms that are submitted,
Yeah.
which call for 39 foot.
35 feet, right? Put that in there, 35 feet.
Yep.
Yep.
Want to step forward, please?
JCBT?
Chief? No, not you. Isn't he a contractor up there? What happened? No, but I want to know what happened to the plans. 2 weeks ago, he changed his plans, correct?
Yes,
How come he didn't let us know?
we did, we
Those
submitted.
are the same ones you
Yeah.
have.
No, he doesn't, because he still had
No, it's just the, look, it's just the
top.
It's just
We
the top.
Right,
eliminate,
but,
we eliminate the attic and it was, we submitted.
It's the one,
And the
yeah.
plan that was submitted, the prints should be the,
These
ones I
things,
have don't have it. They,
it's the same ones you have.
Yeah, the only thing that didn't change was the
The only thing that
dimensional.
didn't
height goes to 35 instead of 39.
Right.
No, but the ones you have say 35.
No, it said 39, I read them. Right there, I was reading.
They don't have
we
it.
eliminate the
I don't know.
attic.
I don't know where I got this.
Walk upstairs, to go up to the roof deck.
I know exactly what he did.
That still says 35.
See, I'm looking
But
at,
the plans say 35.
Right.
it's a part of his plan. And I got a thing here, it says building height 39.5. It's not,
Modified what was originally put in. So I requested ISD to modify that for me.
well, I
That's
think,
in the computer, I could not.
well. All right, thank you.
So 35 max.
You know, a big difference in that, you get a real bad feeling when you look at that. I did,
I apologize.
for the neighbors, and then all of a sudden I'm going like, why would someone even build it like that? Like, I don't know. I guess that's why we're here, huh? Yeah, I guess. No one cares. You all set?
That-
Second.
Any problem?
So Brian, any- can I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, case ZBA 23-14, JCBT Architect for a variance, special permit floodplain to construct a 3.5-story single-family home with a roof deck on a vacant lot on the premise number 84 Post Island Road, Quincy. I make a motion to grant the variance special permit floodplain with a max height of 35 feet.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? So moved. Grant the 35 feet. Further on the tonight's agenda, ZBA 2315, JBC Architect for variance to convert the existing single-family home to a two-family dwelling. Construction's on the side of the premise number 33 North Central Ave. Applicant and representative here?
Yes.
5'9".
Oh, no.
Good evening, Chair and members of the board. My name is Bonnie Tam with JCBT Architect.
Yeah, go ahead, you have the floor, what do you want to do?
Okay. My client is seeking to put an addition conversion to an existing single-family to a two-family with side addition, 2.5-story with ground floor level 2 car garage, second floor bedrooms. Providing 4 parking spaces, 2 indoor, 2 outdoor. The existing single family remains the same. The proposed addition will have 2-bedroom, kitchen on the second floor, attic will be finished for playroom.
And that's an angled attic, so it goes 3, 5, 7 up, so the middle is where, okay,
Yeah,
where they're gonna be.
it's like a townhouse style, side by side.
Right.
Yeah, seeking for variance on FAR, minimum lot area per dwelling and setbacks.
What, I thought it was a nice project myself. I looked at it at first thinking this isn't gonna work out, but I didn't realize the layout that they had there was really pretty good. But I have 2 questions.
Yep, sure.
They're on there somewhere. You continue right down, you follow the house line straight in. On each
Yep.
corner, and you go in, like the other part sticks out of the other house, and the window part sticks out this side of the house, so you're going in a little on each side.
Yep.
Yet, when I read the thing here, it says that your numbers are going down, which I don't know what happened. Is that a typo error or?
Numbers going down, well,
Yeah, like, the left, side left goes from 14.5 to 10. Is that because of the set of stairs? The only thing I could think of what you wrote there. Is that because of this set of stairs here coming down?
oh, this
Yeah.
is the existing.
No, that's
No,
already there.
left side.
The other side,
Left
going
side,
down.
this side.
No, go down more, go down. No.
Middle,
right
yeah,
there.
right there.
This is just the stairs, the steps at the door.
Right, but
Yeah.
is that where that, you got 1411, you're keeping the same line, yet you're losing 3, 4 feet. Is that the
Yes.
stairs?
Just for the stairs.
Okay, that's all I didn't know. I didn't know if I missed something or something wasn't printed right or.
Yeah.
All right. I have no questions about it. I think the layout, you did a great job. I know
Thank
I know it's a tight neighborhood over there, but you made the parking for the people, you did it right.
I have no questions at this.
No question.
Just the unit above the garage will be the second unit?
Yes, correct.
From top to bottom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
2 floors?
yeah, and
And
the
the garage.
existing single family, this is the existing single family, no change.
Okay, remains the
Over.
same?
Yeah,
Okay, no further questions, thank you.
Thanks.
thank you.
Okay, is there anyone to speak in favor? You gotta be careful with microphones right there on the side. There you go.
That's all right.
That's all right. Is there anyone who'd like to speak in favor? First call, second call, third call, call it part of the hearing closed. I got a letter here from the DPW.
Letter dated March 13th, 2023. We have reviewed the submittal for the above referenced project, and our comments are as follows. 1, specify how much impervious area will be increased due to the development. 2, explain how the surface runoff will be discharged and treated. 3, provide dimensions and grades for the paving area and all driveway entrances. 4, will there be any fill or change of grade due to the development? 5, upon completion of the project, as-built plans showing all utilities and building footprints need to be submitted along with a digital file.
Call that part of the hearing closed. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? First call, second call, third call closed. Wow, quiet. I like it. I think they do a really nice job. So I'll be voting for it.
I like the off-street parking. I like that it wasn't too much.
Yep, smaller.
Yeah.
No, off-street parking looks nice, just squeeze it in there. Favor.
In favor.
Likewise.
Do we have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, ZBA 23-15, JCBT Architect for a variance to convert the existing single-family home to a two-family dwelling and construct a side addition on the premise number 33 North Central Ave, Quincy. Make a motion to grant the variance.
Second.
On the motion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you.
That's for your pride client. I don't know if you wanted the full plans.
Oh,
Those are the same ones, yeah.
Did she have those? Do you have those? Can I see that set of plans, please, we just gave you back? I don't know, we're gonna keep it, because I don't know if we have that. Need a helper. Helper.
I did.
No, you need a helper.
Oh, yeah.
Can't do it by
Need a
yourself.
carrier.
Yeah, I put them right here for you. ZBA 2316, Jonathan Silverstein, Esquire, for administrative appeal of the issuance of a permit to allow the construction of an addition and extensive renovations to the existing dwelling on the premises number 15 Jewett Street, Quincy. The applicant or representative here, counsel, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Jonathan Silverstein. I'm here representing the neighbors directly across the street to the property at 15 Jewett, David DeBona and Teresa Wilson. I have submitted some materials in support of this administrative appeal. I did submit another letter, an opinion of an engineer earlier today by email, but Ms. Noonan suggested I bring hard copies for the board, which I have here.
Thank you.
I brought 6 copies.
Oh, is there an extra one there?
Thank you.
Yeah. Quincy Public Schools, sorry. Position.
All right. The board may well remember this property from a hearing last year, where the property owner was seeking zoning relief to construct essentially the exact same structure, just on another part of the lot. Now, in what I would call a little bit of a shell game, the structure's just been moved over next to the existing structure, with a claim that it's gonna remain a two-family, just 2 very large units, with 2 second-story living rooms in addition to the first-story living room. And that this proposal should not require any zoning relief. And a building permit was issued for that. And I would argue that the building permit was issued in error for several reasons. First of all, the ordinance clearly requires a special permit for any addition that is above 25% increase in ground coverage. So the applicant tries to get around this by suggesting that ground coverage only includes the piers that the house is sitting on, and not the house itself, which is a larger footprint than the existing house. The term ground coverage isn't defined in the ordinance, but the closest definition would be building coverage. It's clearly the same concept, and that clearly includes the floor area of the lowest floor. And by that definition, this would be 106% increase, and would clearly require a special permit under the Floodplain Protection District ordinance. In addition, and I don't know how to characterize the estimated cost other than absurd. The stated replacement cost for the existing structure set forth on the assessor's field card is $500,000. And yet they're saying they're going to build a larger structure, newer structure, on a very expensive raised foundation for about a quarter of that, or a third of that. Why would they underestimate that? Well, for one thing, the city got a much lower building permit fee, and I would think that everyone would be upset about that. But more importantly, what's the magic of staying under 50% of estimated cost? It doesn't constitute a substantial improvement, either under the ordinance or under the state building code. which would trigger a requirement to raise the lowest level of the existing structure.
Right.
Now, that may not be the case under the building code if there were no improvements taking place to the existing structure. But we know there are improvements taking place to the existing structure. They're going to be removing siding, vents, electrical service, windows. They're going to be demolishing an internal staircase. They're going to be demolishing, supposedly, an internal kitchen. They're going to be doing all sorts of work to the existing structure. And that then requires that the entire first floor, being the basement, be raised above the floodplain. And that alone is going to jack the price way up as well. We also have no idea about zoning compliance because there was no site plan submitted. What we do know is that best case scenario for them, what they show is that they are 36 square feet away from exceeding FAR. Now that, when I say best case scenario, that's when I just add up quote unquote livable area on the assessor's field code, which very likely doesn't account for the fact that there's going to be an internal staircase removed, adding livable area. And livable area also doesn't include the entryway. And so it doesn't take a lot of area to get up over 36 square feet. And I would submit that at a minimum, there should be a stamped engineered plan stating what the FAR is going to be for this addition when they come back for the special permit that's clearly required under the ordinance. We also don't know for sure what other violations there might be, setback or what have you, because we have no site plan. There are a lot of other problems with this, but I feel like there's really not much more that needs to be said about this. This board was so clear in rejecting the exact same proposal just set off from the existing house a few feet. And by the way, the police raids continue. There was one a month ago. So I don't know why there would be such an urge or desire to help this particular property owner get around the requirements of the law. And I would ask the board to overturn the issuance of the building permit and require that new plans be submitted with a special permit application to comply with the ordinance. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
I got a million of them, really. Here's what I'm looking at. And you know how we voted last year. It's like, the guy's been sitting here 20-something years and knows the building code 10 times better than I do. And whatever that person did, I'll swear on my mother's grave that Mr. Duca did not do nothing and make this happen. He's not that guy. I know him. But whatever this person did and whoever they hired to get around this law, I think really should be in a court of law. That's what I believe. I believe this should be going to land court and those decisions. We had a guy that's been here for 20 years that knows, like I said, the law probably better than anyone here sitting at this table. And I don't even know Mr. Conlon. I'm going to ask for his response on this because I want to hear his response. But these guys have been in this business for a long time. They should know the rules. Now, whoever got around those rules, maybe we got to start looking at zoning and tightening up all these things and not maybe, should be, could be, this is innuendos. It's not right. It's not right. It's spot zone and all that other stuff that, they're trying to just, we got to do something with zoning. We really do. And you're right. I agree. There's a lot of things, but the laws are the laws, and laws are above me. So I don't have any questions. I tried to figure this out myself. And I know Mr. Duca, and I'd swear to his honesty, They come in with the paperwork, and he gave them a permit. And someone pretty smart out there drew it up, because they knew where we were coming from. So, that's mine on it. I don't know if anyone has any questions, thoughts? Lawyer right
Well, I have
here,
a quick
Mr.
question.
Chin.
Of course.
Section 815 here, you put FDV proposed construction expansion 25% of ground average allowed under 8155 as footprint. You said 106. This says 108. Is it 108?
I'm sorry, I must have misspoken. I was going off number, it's probably
That's all right.
108.
But it's 108. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's the difference between 1760, which is the proposed square footage for, I didn't do the calculation of the actual, first floor area. That was
Okay.
the engineer, so I would trust
All right,
him.
so it's 108.
I would go with 108.
Okay, thank you.
Well, my understanding of some of the issues is that there's this disparity in terms of how one reads and interprets the FPOD ordinance. So I can't question and say one side's reading is correct and the other side's reading is incorrect. That is something that I think a judge would, like you said, from the land court possibly might be better able to determine, maybe after taking testimony and so forth. It's difficult for this board to make a decision when interpretation of ordinances is involved.
And I do appreciate that. I guess all I'll say is, unfortunately, that's why they pay you guys the big bucks. That's what the statute says this board has to make that determination in the first instance. And I would just come back to all of the rules of statutory construction that apply to ordinances say that you use common sense. First and foremost, you use common sense, and you look at the intent of the ordinance, and you look at similar definitions. And so common sense, what common sense does it make to have a 25% trigger for a special permit, but say, just lift it up a foot and you're fine. And that doesn't apply, and you can cover the entire property without getting a special permit. You're still you're dramatically changing runoff and flood control. You're still putting your foot in that puddle and pushing all the water everywhere else, even if you don't put it all the way down to the floor. So, and you have a very similar term in the ordinance that is defined. And I cited case law out of Nantucket that defines the exact term as the first floor area. So there's nothing out there that would support the notion that you don't look at the first floor area, and there are a lot of things that would support the notion that you do. First and foremost, the purpose of the ordinance. So I completely understand how you feel about that, and I guess I would just say, unfortunately, the law looks to this board to make that determination. I've been doing this a long time too. My partner wrote the ordinance. I understand the reluctance, and at the same time, I would urge the board to apply common sense, to apply the definition that is in the bylaw, in the ordinance, and ask you to overturn the permit.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Conlon, you had a letter here, and you want to read it into the record for dispute? Yeah, everyone has this. Would you go up here, please, and read it? You need this one? Yeah, it's a fresh one. Here's a fresh one, Mr. Conlon. Thanks.
This letter dated today from Jay Duca, the former
Quiet up.
Director of Inspection Services. Dear zoning board members, please consider the following responses to the appeal of the building permit B-23-134 that I issued on January 20th, 2023, for the addition to the existing two-family structure at 15 Jewett Street. The appeal lists several assumptions and opinions. I will respond to each one separately. I've included a list of reference documents for your convenience. Exhibit 1 is the letter from the Quincy engineer, which is provided to the record. Exhibit 2 is the site plan by DeSalle Burke dated June 22nd, 2021, revised August 15th, 2022. And Exhibit 3 is the elevation certificate by Frank Gallagher dated January 18th, 2023. The applicant uses the term building coverage or ground coverage ratio to allege that the addition is more than 25% larger than the actual ground coverage of the existing building. The floodplain overlay district ordinance reads as follows. Use regulations in the floodplain overlay district, no new building or structure shall be erected, constructed, altered, enlarged, or moved, and no dumping, filling, or earth transfer or relocation shall be permitted. The following activities shall be permitted. Dwellings lawfully existing prior to the adoption of these provisions, including enlargement in area up to 25% of actual ground coverage. The term actual ground coverage does not mean building coverage or ground coverage. Recently, at my suggestion, with the approval of Mayor Koch, the City Council added a definition to the zoning ordinance for building coverage with the sole purpose of limiting the size of buildings to 30% of the lot area of Residence A zoning district, due to the fact that there is no maximum floor area ratio requirement in Residence A districts. The actual ground coverage of the new addition is 14 square feet. ISD has issued many permits for decks and additions, large and small, that were built on concrete piers. Typical projects that require a special permit are larger commercial projects or and other projects that have full above-ground foundations with parking under the first living level. All construction projects in a floodplain, no matter what their actual ground coverage, are required to be approved by the Quincy Conservation Commission and the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection for compliance with the floodplain, stormwater, and FEMA regulations. All floodplain projects must also be approved by the Quincy Engineering Department in order to maintain the state's insurance rating, which translates to a 15% savings for the citizens who buy flood insurance, 15% reduction being the best in the state. This project was originally approved as a 3-family by the Quincy Conservation Commission and the DEP on August 6, 2021. The applicant asserts that I have read the floodplain overlay district ordinance in a way that creates an enormous loophole and defeats the purpose of the floodplain overlay district by doubling the size of the structure. The floodplain ordinance does not regulate the size of structures. The purpose of the floodplain overlay district is listed in section 8.1.1. 8.1.1, purpose. The purpose of the floodplain overlay district are: 1, ensure public safety through reducing the threats to life and personal property. 2, eliminate new hazards through emergency response officials. 3, prevent the occurrence of public emergencies resulting from water quality, contamination, and pollution due to flooding. 4, avoid the loss of utility services which, if damaged by flooding, would disrupt or shut down the utility network and impact regions of the community beyond the site of flooding. 5, eliminate costs associated with the response and cleanup of flooding conditions. And 6, reduce damage to public and private property resulting from flooding waters. The floodplain overlay district ordinance regulates the impacts that a foundation may have on a flood zone, and that is why the term actual ground coverage is used in the ordinance. The dimensional size of the structure is a separate matter and is regulated by the dimensional regulations in section 4. The size of the addition in this case is limited by floor area ratio. The applicant asserts that the FAR is incorrect based on the opinion of how calculations should be made. The definition of gross floor areas is as follows: the sum of the gross horizontal areas of the several floors of a building, excluding areas used for accessory garage purposes and such basement or cellar areas as are devoted exclusively to uses necessary accessory to the operation of the building. All horizontal dimensions shall be taken from the faces of walls, excluding unenclosed balconies. It shall include the horizontal area of each floor level towards the stairwells and elevator shafts. Notwithstanding the first sentence of the gross floor area definition, the exclusion granted for accessory garage purposes shall not apply to either Residence B or Business A zoning districts. The gross floor area of the addition is 1,836 square feet. According to the assessors page, the gross floor area of the existing home is 896 and 768 square feet, respectively, for a total of 3,500 square feet of gross floor area. The FAR is calculated by dividing the gross floor area by the lot size. 3,500 square feet divided into 8,701 square feet is 0.4 for the floor area ratio. 8,701 is the actual lot size according to the ground survey done by DeSalle Burke. The assessor's information is accurate. The assessor makes no deductions for stairwells. The second floor of the existing building is larger gross floor area than the first floor because it has a cantilever. Basements and accessory structures are exempt from the FAR calculations. In summary, ISD's practice of issuing past and present building permits in a flood zone without the need for a special permit where the actual ground coverage is less than 25% is a well-established past practice that complies with the floodplain ordinance, floodplain overlay ordinance. I respectfully ask the board to consider the ramifications to other property owners if they were to vote to alter this fair and consistent past practice. I appreciate the good work the board does, and I trust the board will carefully review the appeal, and I support their decision. Sincerely, Jay Duca, former director of ISD.
Oh, his, no, I saw that somewhere, I read that. I know, I don't know what was changed on it, because I read that somewhere, I read that, wait a minute.
It's dated yesterday.
I know, what's the difference between the new one and
Oh, I'm just saying.
what I had in here?
Council, was there a prior version of this, or is this just new yesterday?
The engineer's letter?
Yeah,
That's the only version.
okay, yeah. No, it just came in. That was all I had.
I know the
Is there an extra
money and all.
copy of Mr. Duca's letter? I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I have one. I got one.
Appreciate it.
Here, where's the one you just read? I'll give you one all, no, that's marked up, and marked it up. Try it.
I was gonna say mine has something written on it.
Yeah, I know, I know. And I know, and it's up to us to figure this out. There's two things I have questions, and I wish I've trusted Mr. Duke with everything for years, so.
I
can't-
have a point here. I don't know, we have an opinion,
Yep,
Mr. Attorney Silverstein.
yep,
We have Jay Duca, who we
Exactly.
know, and we trust his opinions, and
yep.
it's been going on forever. How we've been approaching FAR and wetlands. The Conservation Commission reviewed it, everybody's reviewed it. Eventually, either case is gonna end up in court.
It is.
Now, I don't wanna beg off and say, but I can't weigh one opinion against another. I'm not that in tune with the law and the interpretation of what it is.
But they're both reading it differently, of course.
Right, I don't have an opinion on it because I'm relying on the expertise of Attorney Silverstein and Jay. And if we let it stand, it's gonna end up in court. If we rescind it, it's gonna end up in court. Correct?
No, I don't know. I don't know that if you send it, I don't know what'll happen.
I mean,
Are they
that's,
gonna take it to court? Maybe you don't.
That's my
I don't
two
know. I
cents.
just, and I felt the same way from the beginning, I really did, reading this, and I'm going, here's a guy I've trusted for years to take his interpretations of the law.
Could I say just one thing quickly? Really quickly?
Okay.
Thank you. I just want to be really clear. What we're asking for is not that they not be allowed to build it, but that they have to come in for a special permit and prove that they're not going to be hurting the neighborhood. We're asking that you find that a special permit's required.
what did we grant?
No, we didn't.
We didn't grant it.
We didn't grant nothing. They went down, read the law a little different, come in with other paperwork, and Mr. Duca said, you're right, you can have a permit. And he gave him a permit.
Oh, so he gave them a permit.
Because it wasn't a second structure then,
Oh, okay.
Your interpretations of all this stuff too, as the new director. I've gone along with Jay's interpretation for years, there's no sense in beating them up twice, if they go to conservation, and it's on piers, the whole reason for the floodplain overlay district is not to affect other properties. If there's no foundation, you haven't changed anything. This is land subject to coastal storm flowage. You're not gonna stop the ocean.
And we've done about, I'm gonna say 12, 15 of these, haven't we?
We've done quite a few just in this area.
Yeah.
We just did one a few minutes ago on Post Island.
No, I know that, I'm just, they're gonna have flow tools and all that. I'm talking about piers, like.
Yes, we've done a number of them.
Like, yeah, all the way down to Nile, yeah, other side of the city, all right, I know. All right, it's up to us guys to make a decision. I'll tell you, I'm gonna vote Mr. Duker and let it go. It's just, they gotta do what they gotta do, and he's gotta do. I believe he read the law. That he read the law. He ain't gaining anything out of this. The guy, what would he gain out of it? Zero. Zero to give someone a permit. So in his opinion, he believed they should have got a permit. So, no, you're out.
Is there an opposition here?
No, we heard.
We don't have to
we
take
heard-
it.
We heard the other, that's who we are.
Okay.
People, we already know what the people think, because we already declined the building they had.
True.
So, we know they don't want it. I know that. I didn't like it. A lot of guys on this board did not like it, but I do believe Mr. Duca did his due diligence, and he had to hand him a permit. So, I don't know. I don't know. I know, you're out of order. So, I'm just gonna vote with Mr. Duca and not accept the denial. You can be wild all you want. Someone's trying to talk here, the board. So if you're gonna be disruptive, please leave. Very simple. We're making a decision. The next Stewart, I feel, go to court. Go to court where the court, that's what they do. That's where they go. Money, it costs money to do everything. I get it, Mr. DeBon. So,
We don't have any, we're not making a decision based on the condition of, the lease agreement that they have or don't have. We're making a decision on the building permit.
a building permit.
Yeah.
Did he have the right to give a building permit?
And I've been up here-
That's what the question is.
I've been up here 10 years and have trusted Jay implicitly, and I will continue to trust Jay. So I will,
Mr.
I'll be
Duca has
voting.
nothing to gain.
I'll be voting to,
If anything, it probably bothered him to give it,
Reaffirm
after he knew
that.
how we felt about it.
Reaffirm
That's the way I'm looking at it. Like, he gave a permit away that he probably didn't want to, and he goes like this, sorry, guys, but they had a right. And that's his law. That's his determination law. No, it wasn't mine, it's his.
No, we're not up here to vote on whether or not they manage a bad property. We're up here to support or not support Jay's decision to issue a permit to build, correct?
Correct.
I guess we have to support the former Special Services Director.
He gave a lot of them out.
Well, that's the thing. There's a lot of precedent for having issued permits like this.
Right.
Historically, it's been allowed in the city. Mr. Duca follows ordinances. He follows the interpretation that he's required to follow by the powers above him. I'm not prepared to overturn precedent. I think that's what courts are for. And either way we go, it may end up in court, as Charlie indicated. And the courts can hear both sides and decide whether it was a misinterpretation of the ordinance. Could very well be, might, maybe not. But that's not for me to decide. I'm going to uphold this decision.
Comments?
Yeah, same thing. There's two opinions, differing opinions. I don't think I'm in a position to determine which one's correct and which one's incorrect. And that, I agree with what your opening statement was, that this more than likely ends up in land court so that they can get a confirmed opinion of both sides of the argument. Both opinions are there. I would vote to uphold
All
Mr.
right,
Duca's opinion.
Before we do that, I know how this board feels. I'd like the council, if you'd like to say a few words for the neighborhood since he's been involved in this.
Yeah.
Sorry, Council.
Dave McCarthy, Ward 1, 48 Whitney Road. And we all know that 1517 Jewett's been going on for a while. Attorney Silverstein makes some great points, and everybody here, works hard and leans heavily on the Jay Dukas and the Rob Conlons to try to do the right thing. Dave DeBonner and myself were both in Mr. Dukas' office about this situation. I was probably in there 3 or 4 other times trying to figure out how to make this either work or not work, and Jay did his homework. And I respect what you're talking about rescinding, and not having that extra step that, that it's gonna go to court, as Charlie was saying, regardless, to land court. But, you know, I keep swaying away from zoning a little bit here, and I had talked to the chairman, Mr. Akins, a little bit about that neighborhood and the house itself, and the owner that doesn't occupy it. I'm very disappointed that, you know, that owner isn't here. That owner must realize that 1517 Jewett is taking a beating, and it should, by the neighbors, because of the activity down there. And I won't get into it. There's been plenty of calls, and Attorney Silverstein mentioned, you know, a month ago, and that was the Boston police coming. That wasn't even Quincy. If I mention 1517 Jewett to the Quincy police, they know exactly what I'm talking about. So it disappoints me a little bit, in regards that they seem like they keep getting away with it. They're benefiting somehow, and it's at the expense of the neighbors who are concerned. I wouldn't want that on my street either, and I keep trying to figure out how to curb it a little bit. Last night I met with some members of the city solicitor's office, and we were trying to take a look at that in regards to being disorderly and blight. And I know the first 14 Nelson Street, you talked a little bit about curbing that gentleman in regards to the place. It's not like it's, you know, Augusta National down there, that house. It's not taken care of at all. It's beat up, it'll get worse, and the person doesn't care about it. So even if it was whatever decision you make, one way or the other, and it goes forward, I look at it as that owner out there in wherever they live, not in Quincy and not in Howe's Neck, is looking like, well, we got away with it again. And too bad for Jewett Street, they're gonna have to put up with it. And the most we can do, is I talked to the solicitor's office, is have inspectional services just out there pounding them all the time if there's something wrong. And, you know, you don't want that either. That disturbs the neighborhood. So I respect all the work you guys have done. I'm up here a lot, and it's been, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly up here. And I understand the position you're in. And I really respect Jay Duca. All the times that I've been in here with him, even not 15, 17 Jewett, but a lot of other things, he takes the time, he'd go through everything and never really come out with one way or the other. He'd try to go letter of the law on what he thought it was. So I know you got a hard decision tonight. I really support the neighbors, though. I think Attorney Silverstein did a great job presenting. I wouldn't mind seeing this get rescinded and go into land court with the idea that, you know, maybe they look at it and say, gee, the board really took a good look at this. I think if it goes in the way it does, it probably gives it a little, I don't know if it gives it positivity or not from the board, but I wouldn't want to see that. I'd like to see when the decision happens, it's even Steven. So, and I know, again, we've done plenty of these, Chairman. We've done plenty of these situations, as Mr. Collins said, over the past number of years. So, thank you.
Counsel, you know, when we were talking on the phone the other day, you said the Boston police. I just thought you were, you know, you didn't, you know, and you said it again. You telling me the Boston police went down there?
Yeah, there was a robbery. Don't know all the ins and outs. I've got Quincy looking at it. I've got Quincy looking at that house all the time now. But they came down, there was stolen property, unmarked.
Oh, I thought they came down because something happened.
Yeah, they were chasing the guy, the 1517 Jewett again. It all leads to 1517 Jewett.
Why hasn't the owner thrown them out, getting tenants? I mean,
I
it's
don't
been
know.
going on for years.
I'm gonna work with Jim Timmons in the solicitor's office to look at it more and more, and maybe it's something as we, and I know Councilor Mahoney, I think she's still here, we voted the other night to do an analysis of zoning across the board. Maybe there's a tweak in there too that talks about situations like this, that not only you have a zoning opportunity here to go one way or the other, but, you know, as you guys pointed out with 14 Nelson, like, straighten your act out.
Yeah.
And, you know, and make it a nice home and nice neighbors, and I'm sure the street would have a different opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Counsel.
Thank you. So this has been going on for quite some time, for 2 years. This applicant came in and did not have the correct deed. It did not have the correct applications. It changed its mind when it went to conservation. Conservation put some tags on it too, saying that it had to have special permitting because it was near the berm. It has had special conditions every step of the way. One of the things that I'm really bothered by, and I'm very much in the same situation where I know all of you work very hard. I know it's difficult. And I'm not here to say whether or not, Commissioner Duca did something right or wrong, but it was on his last day at 2 o'clock that he gave a special permit to somebody that has gotten special conditions as he's gone along. When you were here the last time, we were here the last time, I was not here because I had COVID, so I couldn't come. But one of the things that you said was it was substantial detrimental to the neighborhood. Basically, what you were saying in the zoning code, it was saying that this neighbor, this developer, this person who owns this property was not taking care of it, just like we talked about on Nelson Street. But the problem I'm having is that and I know that the commissioner can give out a special permit, but you as the board can also say no and let them go to land court, because this neighborhood has spent $20,000 on lawyers. And what you're saying is, I don't feel comfortable as your board, I don't feel comfortable, let them go to land court. Let the neighbors, let the citizens of the city of Quincy pay out of their pocket to go to land court. Well, why don't we let the developer pay out of their pocket? Because right now, this is what's happening. And our citizens can't afford it. And this is the board that needs to be able to represent our citizens. It used to be a time that when you came up here and neighbors said, this is not the development we want, zoning, and we do have zoning laws. We do.
That's right.
And I have to tell you, that, looking at it and saying, I think Jay Duca did the greatest job in the world. Well, there's some questions here. There's some questions here, and I think it should lean towards the developer. Let them take it to land court. Don't ask the neighbors to do that. That is our job as a citizens of Quincy. Yeah, it is. It is.
I didn't say it wasn't.
It is, but I'm just saying, I'm very offensive about this because it comes down to myself, because it's been 2 years.
You're framing that, counsel, like it's a different question. The question is, did he have a right to give a permit? Yes or no? That's the question.
Yep.
Not whether I like anyone, don't like it. We didn't like the project, remember?
I do remember.
Okay.
And you said no to the project. I watched it from home, from my bed with COVID.
And now you're asking me to say, that guy didn't have a right to do what he did. You're gonna put that on me. No, I'm not, because I think he did his job. Duca did his job. Right or wrong, that was his
on the last
job.
day of his job. He should have said no.
I don't
go to
know
the
if it was
next
the last
commissioner.
day.
The next
I have no
commissioner-
idea.
The next commissioner should have been able to do it. On the last day of your job, when you're leaving your job on that day, when people don't know about it. So the neighbors
So
should know about it.
counsel, what
they
you're
didn't know.
saying is he did something wrong. That's what
What
you're
I'm saying is that you
Yeah,
as this board
you're
have a
saying
right.
it.
What I'm saying is
You're
you as
saying it.
this board
I'm
have a
telling you
right
what
to
you're saying.
rescind this and let it go to
Come on.
court and let the
You've been
developer.
around long enough.
I have been around long
Yeah.
enough, and I'm
Yeah.
disappointed that you're gonna actually put this on the
Well,
taxpayers of the city of
It's not
Quincy as
that.
opposed to the
You're
developer.
asking me to say that the guy in there did a wrong job. I don't think he did. I think he did his job
Okay, well, I will
with
tell you.
what he had.
At a special meeting that we had over the summer in this building, when we were asking this question, that he was suggesting that exactly
You're
what was
making two
presented.
different
and
things
no,
again. Yes,
what
you
was
are.
presented-
It's two different things.
No, what was presented to us was we were told that it would be too expensive for the developer to be able to do exactly what they're doing. And what was presented by Mr. Silverstein was exactly that it's coming in underneath a number and that they're not going to be required to have, to have the cement bottoms or to be able to do certain things when they're developing this. That's what's happening.
No, your accusation is Mr. Duca, last day, made it happen, and it's wrong. That's what you're saying.
I'm
telling
saying that
we
you
can
as a
read
board
too.
can make a decision.
No, I think you're
to
throwing
actually
gas
say
on the
it was
fire at the
said.
end there. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I
You're
think-
throwing gas on the end.
I'm
Yes,
not
you are.
throwing gas on the end.
Yes, you
You
are.
actually
You
have
most certainly
every
are.
opportunity to
That's
send us
not the
back.
issue here.
Yes,
The
it
issue
is.
is, did he have the right to make that permit, give that permit? Simple, yes or no. That's what the question is here tonight, nothing else. There is nothing else here.
There is something
No,
else.
there isn't.
Yeah,
No,
but
there isn't.
you're
You're
basically-
making it something else.
No, I'm not making
Yeah,
it
you
something
are.
else.
Yeah,
No,
you are.
I'm not.
Excuse me, you are.
I'm not.
Thank you for speaking. Call that part of it over. So, let's get into a vote. Can I have a motion, please, and we can vote accordingly? Yea and nay, it's up to you guys.
ZBA 2316, Jonathan Silverstein, Esquire, for an administrative appeal, the issuance of a permit to allow the construction of addition to an extensive renovation and extensive renovations to the existing dwelling on the premise numbered 15 Jewett Street, Quincy. I make a motion to
Deny.
deny the appeal.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passed. 5-0. tonight's agenda is ZBA 2317, Liam Nigel for finding to install a 6-foot safety fence, privacy fence, on Rogers Street side of 47 Hall Place. The applicant representative here. Name and address, huh?
Yes.
Name and address for the record.
Linwood, 47 Hall Place in Quincy.
All right, what do you want to do?
I'm looking to install 6-foot fencing, just from the half of my house all the way to the driveway.
Now, you're going past the driveway too, at the end of your
Just
property?
right at the corner of the driveway, where it's connected to the, just to the driveway, and that's it. No, not going past the driveway.
Where's it gonna stop?
Going to start,
On the corner, because you can't see over a 6-foot fence.
Right, we're not going to do anything on the corner, especially my house is situated on the corner. It won't obstruct the site, we'll
Correct.
make the turn and everything, so we're going to start at the side door of the house. That would be the side back door of the house and carries all the way to.
That's about 20 feet back, right?
I think so, because it's it's pretty long.
I know, I got a
It's
picture, I
Yes.
just gotta go back and look and, let me see where I am here. I thought like if we kept it about 12 feet back from the corner, should be plenty, Rob, is that?
So basically, the end of your house is where you.
Yes.
So
Yes.
12, he wants to put a 6-foot fence,
Yeah.
I'm saying if he's back 12 feet, at least 12, yeah, it's back about 20. So what do you say on the farm, 12 feet? You want the 12 feet on the farm? Because this guy here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna end it.
Here.
Yeah, looking at it, like even the thing, you're gonna be, that's back 20 feet at least.
At least.
So if you go at least 15, it'll look like your neighbors, and it'll look like they'll both start the same and go back. There's plenty of room for people to, they'll be symmetrical when you come around the corner,
Right.
all right?
So you're saying match the, across the street that way?
Yes, there's 15, they're 15 feet back
Okay.
from the edge. I
You
mean,
see what he's saying?
Yes, so basically the same.
Come
length,
closer, yeah.
Yes,
Come
close
closer to
to,
the hall.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Right? Is that what he's saying?
yeah, it comes like at least 15, keep it 15 feet back.
Instead
from
of
the
stopping
corner,
at your walkway.
From your lot line.
yes, exactly.
Then
From-
people can see around the corner if the car's coming. If the guy's going 30,
Because were you gonna stop at your walkway? Is that what your plan was?
Yes, but
That's
it's going to be like a slope slanted,
Okay,
like 45,
okay,
so
perfect.
it will be visible,
that's good.
for sure.
Yep.
Yes,
So you're gonna keep the 6-foot part back, minimum of 15 feet, correct?
I don't understand, is that,
You said you're gonna slope it down.
right?
Right. The 6-foot piece,
Yes,
go back a minimum of 15 feet from the corner of your lot line.
Yes.
And you can, so
He's
you
not even
not
gonna get close.
start there. Like
Right.
if you got a 3-footer going up to the 6-foot, right?
right,
Start, but just start your 6-foot, 15 feet back so people can see
From
around.
Hall Place,
yes,
what
Yeah.
you're already gonna be.
right, yes.
I have no.
What confusing you? What confusing me too, so don't worry. I have no question. I have no questions.
No, no question.
You can have a seat. Does anyone want to speak in favor?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a seat. In case there's some more questions. Counselor?
Hello?
Hello.
James Devine, 117 Cross Street. Yeah, I walked with the neighbor, nice guy. The property next door, you already know, has a similar fence. I believe he really doesn't want to go that far anyways, but I'm sure it might look nice, so we'll start it that way. So very much in favor of it. A woman by the name of Patricia Mortimer had just a concern to make sure that it didn't obstruct the corner view. I spoke with her and I said that he had no intentions of doing that. And she said, great, so.
Thank you,
All right.
Counsel.
Thank you, Counsel.
Thank you for your
very
work. Does anyone else want to speak in favor? Yeah, you gotta come up, name and address, so you can put it on the record and listen here. Because it goes into a microphone, so we can hear it if we gotta look back at the tape.
My name's Albert Vaughn, I live at 48 Hall Place, and I'm here to support Liam on, to put up his fence.
Is he buying you dinner tomorrow?
No.
Waiting all night?
He's a great neighbor.
Waiting all night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes. Is there anyone else want to speak in favor? John,
This is your moment?
it's your moment.
I have a question. John Rutherford, 62 Grand Wall Road. Do you need permission to build a fence?
Yeah, 6 feet.
Is it because they're on a corner, that's why? So if you're not on a corner, you don't need permission?
Yeah, well, you can't go over 6, you're going 8 feet, you need.
Yeah, I know if you go 8 feet, but the
Just
building
'cause of the
6 foot
sight line.
fence, it's because
Because of
it's
the
on.
sight line.
Okay, I'm in favor of him building a fence.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Last call? Call our public hearing closed. Letter from the DPW?
Nada.
No, they reviewed the project, have no comments. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? First call, second call, third call closed. I'm in favor.
In favor.
Favor.
Yes, I'm in favor. I am too.
ZBA 2317, Liam Yan, for finding to install a 6-foot fence on the Rogers side of the premise number 47 Hall Place, Quincy. I make a motion to grant the finding as long as he's 15 feet back from Hall Place.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Further on to tonight's agenda. ZBA 2318. Help me with this, Counselor. Rashid? Okay,
Alden Love.
you got it.
I only know because I made sure I practiced in front for,
TRS for
it's
variance
it's
finding.
actually Rich,
Richard.
Alden.
Oh, Richard, okay.
He goes by,
Rashad.
and he's here tonight.
Special permit, construct a 2-story, 2 residential units above the existing commercial building with an extension over the driveway on premise number 110 Franklin Street. Counselor, is that in the historic district?
You know, I thought not initially,
Mm-hmm.
because there's actually 2 maps. There's one map that's on the
Here we go.
GPS, the GIC,
Yeah.
city website, and it shows there's a trail from the Adams birthplace down to the Quincy Center Historic District. But evidently, there's another map that Mr. Fatsy's suggests applies that I'm not sure was known or whatever
Right.
when there was another project that was proposed that shows that it is within that. So I think there's some clarification that needs, but it appears as though, yes, it is in the historic district, so we would
Before
have.
you want to do this, do you want to check with them?
Well, yeah, I'd like to make a little presentation. Maybe we could continue the meeting to another night. I spoke with Mr. Fasties. He said that the Historic Commission is meeting Thursday. I don't know if I'll be able to get on the agenda by then. Probably
Guys, is that
not.
all right?
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
through that?
Sure.
Hi.
Yeah, so, listen, Rich came to me. He's a small business owner. He owns a barber shop. I know you have a photo, you should have a photo in your package. Everybody knows the barber shop. It's very successful. He's an extremely hard-working gentleman. It's a small lot, I grant it. When he came to me, I said, geez, I don't know, you're asking for quite a bit there. But then he explained, and I talked to the ward councilor, Anthony Andronico, who seemed to think it might be a good fit for the neighborhood. I know he's written the board an email. Some people have commented favorably. He has a number of neighbors who have written letters in support. What he wants to do is have him and his family live above their small business that he works very hard. Now, there's big, major development going on Franklin Street. Here's a small guy who works hard every day, has a small business, and is just trying to put residents above his property so that he and his family can live right where he works and where he's working. And if you look at it, by the way, the neighbor that just received relief from this board for development of the property in the rear as well as redeveloping their front property supports this project as well. And has sent me an email of support. I'm not sure if it's in the record, but I'll forward it to the board tonight when I get home. Other members, there's another neighbor on 177 Franklin Street that wrote a letter in support as well. So if you look at it, at first, the proposal, the thought was that they were going to have almost like a carport below. There's already parking if you're looking at the building on the left-hand side.
Two
The way, Yeah, at least two,
I mean,
actually.
you could put 5, but how are you gonna get in and out?
Yeah,
So you
exactly.
can't do more than 2 cars.
That's
Right.
exactly right. So we definitely need relief with regards to parking. But his in-law, yeah, no, I understand, but you're talking about an area that's being developed, that's on a main street. It's a
Exactly.
mixed use, it's appropriate mixed use. It's a business that's been around for some time. It's a small businessman that needs the relief. And, you know, the size of the lot, while I understand it's small, it's really not taking up any more than what the building is taking up currently, if you include the parking on the left, which is being used as parking right now. It's the same footprint. There was some comments, I had discussions with Rob about windows because it was so close to the property line on the left. By the way, the building on the left is gonna be at least 8 to 10 or even more feet away from their property line, and they support this project, by the way, and it will be fully sprinkled, so that kind of alleviates the issue with regards to windows. However, Rich would be willing to try to go back to the drawing board and maybe kick the second floor back a little bit so that the windows wouldn't be an issue. In any event, they'd have to comply with the code, so if the windows are an issue, that they would have to be dealt with through the building department one way or the other. So if you take a step back and you look at it, you look at the whole area, you know, drive by there and see what it looks like right now, the development that's going on across the street at Dunkin' Donuts, and then behind where the barn, there was another project that right off of Franklin Street, and the one right to the right of them. He sees this construction going on all over the place, all around him. The facade, although it's nice, and a lot of people commented that it looked very nice, may not quite fit with the Historic Commission, and that's not a problem either. And, you know, I know that Mr. Al-Kululala is willing to, you know, have his architect go back and change the facade to comply with the Historic Commission. But he does have significant support for this project. I know there were some comments. One was about the look of the building, which, you know, certainly can be remedied. The setback is the setback. It's where it is now. So it's a pre-existing non-conforming structure as it is, and we're really adding two stories on top of it. So the parking, I would suggest, is the primary concern. And enclosing that parking lot is, you know, I mean, you have, as far as the businesses go, there's Coffee Break right next door, no parking. There's another business, I forget the name of it, no parking. So, you know, the business itself isn't, you know, necessarily a problem with regards to parking. But 2 units for 2 spaces is what we're asking for, but they're not overly large units. And the intent is to have Rich and his parents move into both of those units. And they're going to be there long-term. Granted, not forever, but long-term nonetheless. So if the board would like to sit and, you know, maybe digest it, consider it, and then reconvene on it, maybe we'll be able to get even more support between now and then for the project.
It counts to me, it's not support if you come in here with 10,000 people. I couldn't support 2 apartments on top of that place with no parking. I could maybe do 1 for them to live there and have their business with 2 parking spaces. 2 apartments?
So we're short 2 parking spaces is
But
what it comes down to.
it's this. It's like, with all that development down there, if you took 2, no one would be able to park for his business.
I appreciate
It'd be
that.
over.
But the developments that, and not to push back, I definitely don't want to.
No, I get it.
But the developments that are being proposed are unit developments, right?
Right.
And I understand it has the same impact. This is a small guy with a small business.
I get it.
That's just looking to have his family move in. And I think that there should be some consideration and some appreciation for the fact that you know, although it's a small lot, there's 2 parking spaces, you know, by the way, if you look at the photo that you have,
It's 2,000
if he didn't
square
enclose
feet.
if he didn't enclose it to make it look better, it could be driven right through and you could have 4 parking spaces.
But you couldn't, there's no way, you can't get in and out. So it's
Well, there
tandem
would be
parking,
tandem
they're no good.
Well, you
They're
can have.
useless, but
if-
they're useless.
Well, they're not,
44 for their family, they can have 4.
well, that's what I'm
You
talking
can't
about.
have another person
No, that's what, Rich is gonna live on the second floor, his parents on the on the 3rd floor, so it's the same family. Believe me, it's the same family.
You know, well, here's what I'm trying to say, and I get what you're saying, but there's people that come down here and they want an in-law apartment for their elders. They can't have it. It's against, where they want it is against the rules, like, because now they leave or die, now you got an apartment. So what do? You make it in common. We're gonna have to make an apartment in common, one apartment.
And there's
That's
street,
what I'm looking
and there's street parking, for at night
Oh, of course it is.
when the business
All of a
is
sudden, you're home all
closed.
day, and there's a couple other people home all day, and all of a sudden, there's those pockets. It's not for today. I don't think like that. I don't think like it's about when it's built
No, I
and they're there.
appreciate that.
I think for 30 years down the road, what's gonna happen? Those people are gonna have 5 kids up there, or 3 kids, then you got, they're 15, 16, 17, 18, you got 4 or 5 cars. Where are they? Oh, they're in Franklin Street. Where's the other 5? They're in Franklin Street. Guy's trying to open up a business because he dies, and he's getting his hair cut, and there's no place for his people, they just keep going, they go, I'm done. The business is gone, so
I hear the
I'm
comments on
just
the parking
trying
and I
to
appreciate
work
that.
with you, but it's
I
like,
understand, I do.
it's hard.
I understand that, not, you know, if it's possible, maybe we put it on for a further hearing, we go
Yeah.
back, we take a look at it, I talked with Jim on the, historic site, and then,
I'd like to know that, I'd like to know what they say and what they're doing with the building, because if it is, that wouldn't look too good down there if it was. I don't think they would like that.
no, I appreciate that, and that's, it wasn't clear that it was in the historic district because
So
of
let's
the
find
issue.
that out too.
That's right, I was gonna,
You're on the GPS?
I mean, he's not wrong, it's clearly marked business B.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Right.
and there's a walking trail, like you said.
Right.
that
And it actually crosses over to the
It
other side
crosses
of the
over to
street.
the other side before you, I was like, because I was like, I don't think we brought up the historic district on that other building that you're talking about.
No,
No, that
in
we don't.
Norman's Dunkin' Donuts is gonna be right
Yeah,
across the
yeah,
street.
and that- and the-
Closer to the Adams
The,
house, isn't it? So-
the Dunkin' Donuts is actually on the side of the road where the trail is.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
crosses the street. So I would agree. I wouldn't have thought it was, my only comments are, I actually really liked the building when I looked at it. I thought it was,
It is.
I thought it's a really nice building. I thought,
Yeah. Well,
we had an issue with a roof deck down there, I believe, on that other one.
Yep.
I think there was a lot of people that.
Yeah.
So I think, that would be one area of concern I would have if you, and I understand you were trying to have some exterior living space off there, but, it basically is in the backyards of
Right.
people. And I know we had an issue on that, so I wouldn't even consider that
Okay.
aspect, just my own opinion, just because of how much pushback we had on the one adjacent. And then I'm less of a stickler on the parking. I don't disagree that I don't think it's enough, but at the same time, I think that it's a different world. So I'm less of
Until you need a haircut.
Well, some of us don't have to worry about that.
If I have to stay on this board, I won't need much longer,
Doesn't
so.
happen to me.
The current available parking, that's not used for customers, right?
No, that's issues for the owner. The customers do not use that. And if you look, you could probably, in tandem, again, at least 4 cars
I
possibly.
pulled in there and he was in my car in 15 seconds. My face, what are you doing? He goes, relax.
City.
She's parking for me, How about height? It's 41 feet.
No, you're taking the roof deck off.
Well, it's off the back though, it's really not an additional story.
No, it's
No.
just the height of the fence and stuff. 5
Well,
feet.
Pete looks like it's 41.
It'll be 35. I think it's 34, 34.2 or something.
Yeah, it's not
I
gonna
read
be a
it
flat
wrong.
roof either, it's gonna be a pitched roof.
And and I would also say that
think
in
it's
that
34.
district, in
34
that
now.
surrounding business area, there are a number of buildings that are considerably higher than that building itself.
I know,
Even
but
if you-
Right,
So-
I think it's 34 feet to the top of the, yeah.
You go to page A4, it says 41, which is
No,
strong.
that's
There were
what
two,
the,
there
that's
were
what,
two
That's with the
plans.
roof deck.
That's with the roof.
the
deck.
galvanized peak. Oh, well, maybe it isn't, you're right, because it's got a hip roof, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that was, I don't know if that was off.
When they get rid of the other apartment, it'll come right down, it's good. Be all set. All right,
I'd ask that you continue for
Alright,
maybe,
people are here, I just
One
want to
more.
hear some
Oh,
people,
sure,
let,
yeah.
we'll go through all that. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is there anyone want to speak in favor? First call, second call? Third call, no, we got a letter from the DPW, oh, it's in here, here we go. Oh, okay. We got a letter from the DPW, they reviewed project and have no comments. Oh. I think they would have said something about historic or something on there too, I don't know.
I don't think it is, I don't think that, they wouldn't be able to put that super Dunkin' Donuts there.
Well, it's gonna be built like the, third place.
Like the actual-
Clapboard,
Yeah.
they're gonna really
Yeah.
change their brand.
He said,
Nah.
"Brad."
Big
Is
circle.
there anyone here opposed or undecided? First call, Mark? Name and address for the record?
Yeah, my name is David Jacobs. I live at 10 Charles Street in Quincy.
Go ahead, Mr. Jacobs, sure.
Yeah, so saw the project online, all in favor of the project. I thought you did a great job. I believe just trying to help the guy out. The only thing is I don't think it, like you said, I don't think it fits in with the neighborhood that's there. I worked 9 years for the National Park Service, 4 years here in Quincy, and I also served on the Quincy Historic Commission for 6 years. So I think, as someone who worked for the National Park Service, worked at the Adams Houses, the number one complaint that people really have when they come here is how developed it is around the birthplaces. And there's nothing we can do about that. It's already happened, But I think as we're moving forward and we're seeing new construction there, I think we have the opportunity to kind of tweak things to make it look, a little better. Like people always comment about the service station across the street, and it's like, well, the service station's been there since what, 1930, you know what I mean? So, I just think we have an opportunity here to make it look a little bit more, is it brick? Is the building brick?
it is, sir.
Yeah, so is it white?
Brick.
White brick? White brick?
It's really not determined yet.
Well, I know that's usually the purview of the Historic Commission, but the only thing is, a lot of times serving on the Historic Commission, a lot of times the ZBA will pass stuff. And it'll come to the Historic Commission, I see you guys say it too. Oh, this was already passed by the planning board, or this was, so where Tony Ricci will say, well, ZBA already looked at this. Who are we to say, overrule what ZBA did, or vice versa, you could have gone to the Historic Commission, and you guys could say, well, gee, the Historic Commission already looked at this. And, who are we to overrule that, So I just think, I'm in favor of this project, the way it's proposed. I know you have an issue with parking. I find that a little odd because you sold, you let Louis' parking lot get sold, and you weren't concerned about any parking then. I'm not really concerned.
10,000 spots down, how's that? There's a big giant one right across the street. So why would I be?
So, that's good. I'm not concerned with parking. That doesn't bother me at all. I'm gonna wait till I have everybody's attention. Because that's the respect I deserve.
Wasn't laughing at you, David.
Just let me know when you're ready.
Come on, let's go.
So I'm just saying, I'm in favor of this project. I don't think parking is an issue. My father-in-law is a developer in Cambridge, and he thinks it's silly that we have all these parking requirements. I think on-street parking is the way to go. Once the on-street parking fills up, it'll basically, that's all the carrying capacity for the city. If we keep adding parking spaces for Quincy, that will increase the amount of cars that we actually have here. And I think a lot of us think, oh, we don't want on-street parking, but if we keep building parking spaces, we will keep having more cars. The only way to reduce the amount of cars that are here is to actually reduce the amount of parking that we have available at these people's residences. So I'm all in favor of on-street parking. So I don't think it's a problem, but I would like to see the building, be more architecturally friendly, you know, to try and add to the historic district. So, that's it.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else opposed or undecided? Mr. Dunn,
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
name and address for the record.
James.
No, right there, we got a microphone.
James Dunn, 7 Shoreside Road, 167 Babcock Street, whichever one you want to use. I strongly oppose this. Anybody that, I don't begrudge someone that wants to move their family over, their business, but backing out over the sidewalk, you're talking 4 or 5 cars backing out over the sidewalk. It's just an accident waiting to happen. Okay, you talk about on-street parking, I get it, but what do you do in a snowstorm? Where do they go? That's an emergency zone. You have to get the cars off the street at night. It's an emergency zone. And that project is in a historic zone. I know because I did the project across the street with Dunkin' Donuts, which we firmly had a hard time with parking in the area. Okay? And I won't elaborate to that. I'll just leave it at that. And I just want to go, I strongly oppose trying to stuff 5 pounds of stuff into a 1 pound bag.
Thank you, Mr. Dunn. Anyone else opposed or undecided, second call? Third call? Call for hearing closed. You want to move this a month? Oh, I got some letters there, wait a minute, just, yeah, I don't know, it's in there. You want to, month? You need more?
No, that'd be.
May 9th? To May 9th? May 9th.
Want me to read these in first?
Yeah, I want those first.
From Counselor Andronico. Pass along comments he's received, positive feedback, mixed-use component of the proposal mentioned as a plus. Proposal fits with ongoing projects within the surrounding few blocks. Adding more housing will help keep housing prices down. Constructive feedback, proposal takes away available parking spots, add for need for more spaces, too modern. Height of the building's too tall, number of variances requested is too many. Rich DeRusha, 177A Independence Ave. Sorry, these are in support.
All right, we just got them, so
Yeah,
we'll go back
yep.
and fill in the blanks.
So Rich DeRusha, 177 Independence for support. As a resident, please considering issuing a special permit, live down the street. Have been a patron for 7 years. The owners have always maintained a clean interior and exterior appearance at the shop. Rich is exceptional. He's warm, welcoming to every community member. He's a responsible business owner and supports other local businesses in and around Quincy. Man deserves this. Please consider issuing the permit. Kevin and Taryn Geary, 10 Samoset Ave, Quincy, would like to address you tonight to support the redevelopment at 110 Franklin Street. Appears to be a reasonable sized addition to the neighborhood. 2 residential units are the picture of responsible and appropriate development to take Quincy in the right direction. Room for growth within reason. The brick facade will nicely complement other structures around it, and the garage under does a job mitigating parking concerns. I'm sorry if I botched your name. Alada Kulada. Rich has been a pillar of the community for years. He's responsible, well-respected business owner who intends to stay, but would just like to keep up with the growth of his great city. Gerard Shea, 87 Albatross. I'm writing on behalf of Rich. Taking a look at the proposal online, what you posted, I feel like it's a great idea. Born and raised in Quincy. See how the city's grown over the years, and nice to see a guy like Rich get the same opportunity. He works hard, cares for the community, always tries to make people happy and improve things along the way. We see time and time again, major developers, big guys with their opportunities, and it's heartwarming knowing Rich can be part of that himself and grow and capitalize like all. Edward Correas, 32 Alton Road. I'm writing on behalf of Rich, who I've known for over 10 years professionally and personally. He's always been a model citizen, cares about the community residents that reside in. For example, I've seen him at many times give elderly vets free haircuts to show his gratitude for people who've served this country. I've also witnessed Rich create a safe and welcoming atmosphere for his customers, employees, where politics, religion, and ethnicity are not discriminated against. Coming forward this committee for a living area above his current establishment. Due to current market prices of housing in Quincy, it'd be more feasible for him to add an addition rather than rent or purchase a unit for his relatives. His current residency can only accommodate 5 individuals, therefore he has to find a realistic solution. And then, that's the same one, sorry. And then there's one in opposition. This is Vincent Guarino, 124 Franklin Street, Quincy. I'm writing a letter in opposition to the project at 110. The project's non-conforming in many ways in a historical district. The reasons for opposing this project are many. The biggest reason for opposing this project is parking. Parking relief should not be granted, nor should permission be granted. Parking situation's already a mess on Franklin. Traffic and parking problem with Dunkin' Donuts is already well known. We have multiple businesses on that block that utilize the parking on Franklin Street, like Coffee Break, Hancock Appliance, Boston Crematory, just to name a few. The project directly across the street is adding 3 more businesses that will need parking for their clients and 6 residential units as well. In addition, the project right next door, 108 Franklin, is adding more storefronts from residential units. Rocco's has 4 employees who need on-street parking. They all park in the driveway located at 110. It's been a burden on my business. The parking situation's been a burden on my business and my clients. It's only gonna get worse. Furthermore, I would like to see where they should not be parking in our lot or they risk being towed at the owner's expense.
Thank you. All part of the hearing closed. Can I have a motion for May 9th?
Mr. Chairman, ZBA 23-18, Rich Shaladakata for TRS for variance finding special permit to construct a 2-story, 2-unit residential addition above the existing commercial building with an extension over the driveway on the premises numbered 110 Franklin Street, Quincy, and make a motion to move that hearing to May 9th.
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye, opposed? I'll move. May 19th, you let us know beforehand, whatever you get from them. I appreciate it, Council. Thank you. Have a good night, Mr. Mayor. Further on tonight's agenda, ZBA 2320, Barry Crimmins for special permit to operate a dog daycare with the option for overnight accommodations on the premises number 405 C Street. The applicant and representative here. Name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Attorney Barry R. Crimmins of 909 Washington Street in Stoughton. I'm here on behalf of the applicants, Molly O'Neill and Ethan Hoyt, who do business as Seaside Canines. The application is for a special permit so that they can conduct their, they have a doggy daycare business, grooming and boarding that they currently operate from their home. They've outgrown the space there.
What's the address it was at?
Pardon me?
What was the address it was at?
Where they're currently at?
Yeah.
It is Stoughton Street, number 45. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mobile.
Right.
My property's next door. I never seen nothing. Saying this is bizarre.
And again, the address of the property that they're looking to move into is 405 C Street. It's in the Business B zone, so the use is allowed by special permit from this board. My clients have entered into a lease with the current owner. They have signed that lease. It's been forwarded to the landlord's attorney. We anticipate that getting executed by him within the next couple of days. I do believe the owner is here tonight as well. What I'd like to do, if I may, Mr. Chairman, is allow Molly and Ethan to tell you all about their business and what they're looking to do.
That would be great. Did you say it was a mobile business, right? Okay. Maybe you could explain all that.
They pick up the phone and watch the dog over the phone.
Right.
All right, good evening,
How you doing, neighbor?
my name is Ethan Hoyt. My wife and I have been operating Seaside Canines since 2016. We started doing it out of our home in 2018 when we bought our home in House Neck. Since then, we have just grown the business and grown out of the space. 99% of our clients are in the immediate area, House Neck, Adams Shore, Germantown, all within say, walking distance to the location of 405 C Street. I'm a veteran, so that allows me to work from home and have more free time, so I started doing dogs full-time. As a veteran, I'm lucky enough to serve clients who also serve the community. We have a lot of local police officers, firefighters, city members whose dogs we watch. A lot of these clients work long and odd shifts, sometimes 12 to 24 hours, and unfortunately there just isn't any sort of business or option available for them to drop their dogs off at during those times. Relocating to 405 C Street would give us roughly 1,800 square feet of space for the dogs to properly exercise and roam with one another and socialize. Yeah, that is.
I mean, I see the overnight, you want to overnight, and I know there's residents to your left, there's residents to your right. Do you have a meter to know how the wild dogs are at night? And are you gonna insulate the building?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, as far as
I know I wouldn't want to hear dog barking all night long.
No,
I know it's
definitely.
a big need for it. I've got a lot of calls, people supporting you.
yeah. I don't know, like, take this one.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
I'm gonna take over.
What's your name and address, if you don't mind?
Molly O'Neill. I'm married to Ethan. I live at 45 Stoughton Street in Quincy. We've been there since 2018. I'm also a teacher. I've been teaching in Boston Public Schools for 6 years. I'm constantly thinking through a lens of individualized education and accessibility for all. So I just want to talk about how these skills generalize for our Seaside Canines business.
Yep.
Each one of the dogs in our care presents different needs or challenges. And for example, we have dogs that have separation anxiety, fear of motorcycles, or dogs that simply need a structured pack introduction in order to feel safe and confident in new environments and with a new handler, which Ethan is able to do amazing. We're able to meet those needs because we keep a low ratio of dogs to humans. So this is how I want to answer your question. In my experience, excessive barking often occurs because a dog's needs are not being met. So we currently have a daily routine that we adhere to. We ensure all dogs are being socialized and stimulated physically, emotionally, mentally. And with the combination of all of our enrichment activities, we find that we're able to be proactive in caring for these dogs, and therefore they're less likely to demonstrate these unwanted behaviors like you mentioned, barking, crying, things like that. We're also planning on installing noise canceling insulation in order to mitigate noise inside. And then the vinyl fence will also mitigate noise outside. We also plan on minimizing the amount of dogs outside at one time, just in order to prevent any excessive noise from occurring to us.
And, you know, it might sound weird or stupid, I don't know, but it's a question. You know, dogs are like kids, and you get a bad one. Is there a time when a dog causes too many problems, you just say, I can't take this dog anymore?
We do temperament test all of the dogs in our care. That means we're doing a structured introduction. That means we're making sure that they do well with all of the dogs that are already acclimated pack members, as well as the people that are working with the dogs. Have we turned dogs away? Absolutely.
Yeah, all right, I mean, you know.
But
once in a while, I'll be at the park or something, and just, because I'm driving through there, and then I'll see a dog get out and just flip out, start going after our dog. That's, I mean, his day was to go get another dog.
Maybe they didn't have enough enrichment that day, Martin.
Hey.
I don't know.
So you're talking about the noise canceling. Where is that gonna go?
So that will be on the interior, in the installation. Go ahead.
No, what room?
All of the rooms.
Oh, good.
We're gutting the place, so.
Nice.
Yes.
So Friday light is gone? Can't come up for Friday?
It will, as soon as that lease is signed.
No french fries?
No french fries.
No doggy treats?
Our dogs won't be happy, but no french fries.
Doggy treat.
Any questions?
Yeah, so provided if you didn't do overnight, what are the general hours of your business going to be?
Our business hours would be 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. That would be when clients would be dropping off or picking up their dogs.
Yeah.
However, with the overnights, it really would be just the dogs, again, that are sleeping over, the employer or employees, depending on the ratio of dogs that are staying there.
Yeah.
It would be staffed 24/7. We're not gonna let dogs go out for playtime at midnight, you know, if they need an emergency bathroom trip, you know, or we walk them out on a leash, et cetera.
Okay.
We're really only anticipating, playtime during, our core business hours.
What are you looking at for like max number of dogs? Have you figured that out based on the space? Yeah.
25, and that is the same amount that was approved for the pet sitting business in Marina Bay.
Okay,
Yes.
that's all I have for it.
So how many dogs would stay over? What would be the maximum?
Maximum of 25.
Okay.
If everyone needed
Right. That would be very rare.
to, well, I would say, yeah.
I just want to understand your fencing. So it looks like you have a 6-foot high plastic propylene fence.
Correct.
Surrounds the dog enclosure.
Correct.
And beyond that, you also have a wood fence that is on the lot line, sorry, on 3 sides?
I believe.
that belongs to the neighboring
Neighbor fence.
property, yeah.
And there is an existing chain link fence on the property line, and I believe.
And they did put a 10-foot setback on each side of the fence as well, so that'll help with the
So will
sound
the
as well.
whole back area of the building be asphalt? Will there be any grass area for them?
We're gonna keep it the asphalt, we're gonna kind of clean it up. As far as grass goes, we have turf rolls that we're able, it's not gonna be permanently installed turf, it's turf that we can take out clean, sanitize, and swap out for clean ones.
No other questions?
I'm good, thanks.
As far as like shots and all that, do you check to make sure everything has
You
to be done?
require, yep. right.
I don't know, I don't own a dog.
No, these are good questions.
I had a dog once,
Maybe
he got run
after
over.
this,
Some guy named Matty Akins killed him. I killed my own dog.
though. Unfortunate.
Never had another dog. He went to say goodbye to me, I pushed him back and he ran and his paw got caught underneath my tire. I said, I don't deserve a dog anymore. The poor guy just wanted to kiss goodbye. He got it.
I think it's too warm in here.
Yeah, I was sad, but I figured I'm no good with animals. All done. Now, all my friends got animals and they all talk about taking it. My daughter, like $740. She went on a trip, right? So me, $740. Well, I'm offering my house $740 a week. Oh
There's
my
definitely a
God.
need for it.
Yeah, there is. There's a big need for it. There's so many people, because like I said, I got a lot of calls, people want to talk about it. And I didn't think it would. I thought there'd be a lot of people against this, but we haven't talked to them yet, so we'll find out.
We require rabies, distemper, and Bordetella vaccinations.
Is there any other licensing requirements you guys have to do? Did you have to go?
The city of
use.
Quincy does not have kennel ordinances, which
Okay.
is why we're here for the special permit.
Okay, cool, thank you.
How's that guy?
Yeah.
No?
One
What's the
last
change?
question.
Whoa.
One last question for Ethan. Forgive the question, if my hearing is off the grid. Did you say you were a veteran or a veterinarian?
Veteran.
Veteran.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
They're a tough act to follow, but very briefly, Molly and Ethan both alluded to the fact they'll be doing extensive renovations to the building, both in the interior and exterior. I know you have copies of the plans. So they're investing, quite a bit of money into this project, particularly for something that they don't own. And so I think what they'll be doing will be an improvement, not only to the property itself, but to the surrounding properties, because they'll be taking a building, I'm sure you all know, that's a little bit run down at the moment, if I may say. And so with their investment in the property, I think it's going to be quite an improvement, not only to that building, but as I said, to the neighborhood in general. I know you have copies of the letters. They got several letters of support from folks, many of whom are here tonight to voice their support. So with that, Mr. Chairman, unless the members have any more questions of me, I'll sit down and you can ask for the other folks.
I just had one's gone. What the hell? Oh, the lease.
Yes,
How long is the lease for?
a 5-year term.
And, all right, I just wanted to see how that would protect the investment, all that
Yeah.
money.
Yeah,
5 years, right?
there's, there's an element of risk associated
To
with it,
buy,
of course,
right
but,
at the end, yeah,
right,
okay.
right.
Good. Very good. Thank you, Council.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone, Council, you want to speak first? Or you want to wait?
Yeah, sure. Dave McCarthy, Ward 1, 48 Whitney Road, dog kennel expert. Ethan and I have had various conversations over the past several months. The first one is when they said they're at 45 Stoughton, and they had over 100 clients, and I know when Molly was talking about being mobile, they do a lot of picking up and taking care of the dogs, so that they're out and about a little bit, but having over 100 clients down Howe's Neck on 45 Stoughton and getting no complaints was impressive to me, because that I usually get a phone call, and not one. I know there's a lot of people here that have emailed me, and people that are here this evening that are in need of this. I can't think of another one. Maybe there's another place, a kennel in Quincy, but a dog grooming, I don't, maybe one or two or whatever, but down in that area, I think it'd be a good deal for everybody. A lot of folks that have dogs down in that area, when I mentioned what was going into Harry's, they had no idea, and they were excited because they were gonna utilize Ethan and Molly a little bit here. The noise issue, as I think would be the #1 priority, is something that possibly we can build in a little bit, and I know Rob and his crew in his special services maybe can do some spot checks. But as I said before, on 45 Stoughton and the whole deal with the dogs down in the neck and in the area, no calls, a pretty stealth operation that I think that they have a handle on. So, but I'd love to see inspectional services just put it on their check it list or their radar a little bit. I know that I got one call from a neighbor, a couple houses over, that had concerns about the noise. And we totally understand it. And I think we'll find out, we'll keep an eye on it and get our arms around it if it's an issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Is there anyone that wants to speak in favor?
If you guys don't mind, just line up here and,
Yeah.
stage support, name, address.
Address, I'm in support, we're all set.
I should just approve it, so.
Why?
You're a cat guy.
You're a cat guy.
Hi, my name is Teresa DeBona. I'm at 20 Jewett Street, Quincy. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of a public hearing. I was not given the same opportunity, but for them, I am very excited to hear that there's going to be a business, a dog business in our area. We need more businesses.
Yeah, we do.
And I'm really excited for that. So I give them our support. I'm glad it's not condos, more apartments or anything like that. So I wish you guys really good luck, and I'm really glad that you're gonna be in the area as a business. Thank you.
How you doing? I'm Dave DeBona from 20 Jewett Street. I'm also for this business. I am also self-employed, so trust me, I get what it takes to try to make something work and put your neck out there. So again, I just wanted to support these two for taking the dive into it. It's a major undertaking.
Yeah.
Good luck with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. David?
My name is also Dave DeBona, but I live at 45 Jenner Street, and I am definitely in favor of this. And the reason why I am in favor of this is because we'll have no adverse reaction in the area as far as parking and anything else to hurt the neighbors in the area. Also, which I believe everybody here is aware, they're right behind the main sewer line that's coming down here from Framingham. And they will definitely not have any adverse conditions to add any more problems with our main sewer line. I am definitely in favor of this. Thank you all.
Amy Oppenheim, One Richards Road in Weymouth.
I am very in favor. I've been sending my dog to Seaside Canines for 3.5 years. They are extremely reliable and trustworthy, and that is really hard to find someone you trust with basically your baby. So, very, very in favor.
Thank you.
My name is Andrew Nazaro. I live on 171 Babcock Street. I've been a client for the last 2 years. Ethan and Molly do a great job with all the dogs. They've really helped my dog with some behavioral issues and kind of worked through, socializing her with other dogs. So I can't thank them enough for taking her while I'm at work and my wife's at work. And it'd just be a great opportunity for the neighborhood.
Thank you.
How you doing? Nate Marcheski, 162 Colonial Drive. My wife and I have been taking our dogs to Molly and Ethan for the last 2.5, 3 years. Just can't say enough good things about them. They're great. The dogs are well looked after. Trust them completely. They love going over there. To speak on kind of what Ethan had said about, different hours and stuff. I'm a lineman for National Grid in Quincy, so I work some pretty wild hours sometimes. And to have these guys to look after the dogs and I know they're taken care of is just huge, really. And I can't say enough good things about them and fully support their request for the special permit. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, brother.
Hi, Randy Hoos, 50 Russell Park, Quincy. We've been using the service for over a year, and we just find them very responsible and great to work with. So we hope it becomes a business and continues to have success. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi there, Kaylee McCann, 132 Rockland Street. We've been sending our dog to Molly and Ethan for the past 3 years. Everyone kind of covered it. They are absolutely the best. It's very hard to find trust within someone with your pet. And they're always there for everyone. Sometimes I think my dog's not going to come home because they like them more than they like their own damn owners. But they really are the best people, and I could not be any more in favor for this.
Thank you.
Ralph Fisher, 981 C Street. My wife and I, we've been taking Blaze, that's our doggie, to Ethan and Molly's at least 3 years now. I mean, as soon as I found out. They are extremely good with dogs. I mean, one of the things I kept hearing about was the noise issue. One of the things you learn is the fact that when dogs are in a nice social and comfortable environment, they're not noisy. You hear dogs barking when people walk by with their dogs or something like that. Yeah, there's that barrier of frustration. When you have dogs are social creatures and they like each other's company, and therefore they're generally very quiet. You rarely ever get a lot of noise out of them. And the fact that they have an overnight system of business is a godsend. I mean, not too long ago, we took a trip to Scotland, and it was about 2 weeks, and they had Blaze there for 2 weeks, and not a problem. He loves them. He loves their friend. He loves the friends that he gets to play with. They are absolutely. I can't recommend them more highly. They're just amazing folks, and I hope. Oh, and another good thing. It's nice to have a business there. Last thing Quincy needs is another empty storefront.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Fisher.
Hi everyone, I'm Catherine Cox. I live at 9 Grant Place in Dorchester. Just wanted to echo everything that everyone said. My rescue was beaten and left in a park, and just to talk to their behavioral health, get a tear up. He is obsessed with Ethan and Molly. They're just such amazing people. I don't have a huge support system, and they're always there to help. And I drive over in the Deposit Bridge from Dorchester in rush hour traffic twice a week because I love them so much. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, Tom Dolan, 20 Yard Drive in Milton. Not a Quincy resident, but like people from Dorchester and people from Milton coming to have our dogs come see Molly and Ethan. It's just a testament to what the kind of people they are. And a veteran and a Boston public school teacher, they are. I swear to God, they're the salt of the earth, these two. And my dog I'm jealous of them, but my dog is in love with them, doesn't want to come home. Thank you.
You guys filming a commercial here?
Yeah, really, talking about, it's 8:30 at night, everyone should be home, and you're all here in line
That's
for this
amazing.
couple. It says enough for itself.
Yeah, you guys are.
David Jacobs, 10 Charles Street. Don't know Molly and Ethan, but I know people who use them, and I have an elder dog, senior dog, so hopefully I'll be using it now too. But excited to see a business. I know you're passionate about business. Down in Ward 1, everyone here has been good about that, so just glad that this can stay a business.
Thank you. Mr. Dunn, you're in favor?
Of course I'm in favor. Got a couple redheads. Come to open a business, see an empty storefront open and they're at Stoughton Street. I live at Babcock Street, I didn't even know there were dogs down there. So they must run a good business. And if they could give me some lessons, never mind the dogs.
The dog might kiss you.
I would vote for that. Good luck.
Too fun. Come on.
Hi, I'm Liz Henry, 180 Elmore Road in Braintree. My husband and I, Gary, have been using Molly and Ethan services for the past 3-ish years, I think. And to echo everyone else's sentiments, they really are salt of the earth. We personally would do anything for them. I think this showing of people here tonight is a true testament to how wonderful people that they really are. But dogs especially enjoy going to their house. They have a vibrant social media presence that all the dog owners love seeing. And I just can't say enough great things about them. Especially my husband and I do travel frequently. And for those people who don't have kids and would consider their pet to be their child, having somebody dependable that you can leave your pet with is really worth all the money in the world.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm gonna try not to cry. I'm so happy for the both of you. My dog, Julie Gibbons, 27 Babcock Street. Fortunately, we're neighbors and they have the dog business, and my dog suffered from trauma and abuse, and he was a project, and Molly and Ethan drastically helped me with that. I traveled for a year straight for work, and without them, I wouldn't have been able to proceed in my career, because he would stay with them for months at a time. And he's really come a long way. My dog's been going to them for 5 years, a little over 5 years, so I think they'll be an asset to the community. Being their neighbor, same thing, the noise with the dogs, never hear them. You can hear kids playing ball at LeBrec Park, but you can't hear the dogs ever. My sister also abuts them, and there's never been a complaint.
How's that kid's allowed though?
They are. But there's never been any noise complaints or traffic or any issues. I think they'd be a great asset to the community. They already are, and I don't know, I'm all for them.
Thank you so much for coming here. Waiting. Council.
I'm back. So this is much better because I can tell you, Marty, that you could actually get a dog because they can help you socialize and maybe even give you a couple of tips on how to drive around.
He's just gonna take away his license.
But I'm very in support of this as a dog owner and knowing how hard it is. With COVID, a lot of people bought dogs and they didn't have any place to bring them to when they went back to work. No different than childcare. It's very difficult for people to be able to make sure their dogs are being socialized, and extremely hard when you actually go away because you do want to leave those animals with somebody that can be cared for. And what better situation to have than to have Harry's become a dog? It is, and I'm so glad I won't be up here to actually fight for barking for 27 years. So I welcome you to the community. I know it's very emotional, and I really do appreciate you coming and expanding and putting an investment into for our money. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope it's longer than 5 years.
Yeah. Buy it.
The Imperial might be.
I think I'm the last one in the line.
Jess Jordan, 1243 C Street, House C. I just want to come up and show my support, and I'm sure there's more that wanted to be here as well.
Yeah.
To show their support. We've been bringing our dog Frankenstein to them. I'm a social worker at a Boston hospital that works overnights, so it is nice to know that my dog goes to a daycare that has the ability to stay overnight if I couldn't find care for him. So yeah, we love you guys.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to show you a picture. There's my dog.
Is that my dog?
And the other two dogs, actually, the other two dogs, they're
Which one's
Mom's
yours?
and Dad's.
In the
Mine's
middle.
in the middle, in the back seat. And Balky is actually driving.
He's got a bottle of Bud.
So I wanted to share how special, they send out pictures and they actually do calendars as well too, to support the Quincy Animal Shelter. So they don't allow the dogs to really drive, but I figured I should have pictures. But my name is Kimberly Lindgren. I live at 481 C Street. And when I came to Quincy, I bought my home I think 8 years ago. And it was a joy to find them when I had purchased my new dog. She's a rescue dog. And they are a joy. And just like the other parents all said, my dog thinks she is gifted because she has two homes. She gets to go back and forth between each one, but they're absolutely wonderful to promote Quincy business and also, like I said, supporting the Quincy Animal Shelter. They also, do calendars with all the dogs in them. Dee Dee was February. She's always in the pink month. So I am totally 100% in favor of them taking over that location, just a short distance from me. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. It's a tribute to these two. That's, 9 o'clock before you get out of here. And you all came here and spent the time for the people that are taking care of your families.
I think I want to send my kids there.
Reform, all I hear is, behavioral, I got a lot of those issues.
I know. I'm learning so much about dogs. Like, I just thought they.
Don't get another one.
Anyways, no, I'm done.
All right, thanks.
I'll tell you, I haven't had an animal since that day, so. And then something happened. A friend of mine bought me a cat. I think you need a cat. You need a cat. And I goes, I don't want a cat. She goes, no, you need a cat. She got me a cat. It's Maine Coon. She goes, it's gonna be 6 feet long. I go like, what? She goes, yeah, he's 8 months old and he's 3.5 feet. And I'm looking at him going like, this thing eats like a dog. Holy God. And his growth spurt, they told me, is between 3 and 4. And I go, what? Like, at 3 years old, he'll be that big and he gets a growth spurt? Like, he's gonna be taller than me. A cat. I thought I was getting a little kitty. Anyway. It's a testament, really, to both of you. And I'm impressed. Takes a lot to impress me up here because I hear it all the time, but these people really went out of their way. You must be doing something really super focused. I don't even want to ask if anyone's against this because they might not get out. Might not get out.
I gotta get on the record. I come to these meetings all the time, and I have never seen so many people come out in support of something. It's the most people. We are lucky. And a lot of the times you feel bad coming to these meetings. You guys must feel bad being on the board sometimes on some of your decisions, but this makes you feel good about being a resident of the city of Quincy. So, I want to thank everyone for coming, and I also want to just recommend to the board, if you know so many people are in favor of something, move this agenda to the first item.
We didn't know, John.
John, I really thought in my.
I didn't know what was going on either.
I thought, half these people probably don't like these things. Don't want a dog.
Well, I mean, we've seen many things. It seems
I
like
said, let it play out.
people like dogs better than the children, because we've seen. No, the only other time, there's a lot of adult daycare centers, or there's the childs and people that have their kids at the daycare centers. And I don't even have a dog. I have cats, but if I had a dog, I would love to bring it to you guys, so. I don't even think.
You got any kids, John?
They should get a property tax.
John, John, it's 8:30.
John, you got any kids?
But anyway.
You got any kids, John?
Huh?
Any
I was trying to
kids?
see my kids.
No.
Opposed or undecided?
I'm in favor.
All right.
Read those in first.
We'll call, last call, call that part of the hearing closed. No, there's a DPW letter, where is it? I saw it. Oh,
Nothing.
another tribute. We've reviewed the project and have no comments. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? First call. Second call. Oh, third call. Oh. Counselor, come on, you just got here.
He wants it in 1/4, right?
You all said anything else? I know, you wanna wrap it up? No?
Oh, it's great.
Getting late.
I think a lot of those in favor, they
Yeah,
said
they
that there was probably duplicates, so we'll go through it and just note
I
the
don't even
file.
wanna say it, but I have to. There's one opposition letter here, and it's really quick.
Susan Dyer, 421 C Street, Quincy, strongly oppose. Main concerns are noise, hours of operation,
Yeah.
negative to the resale of property and my value. Dog daycare business overnight accommodations will inevitably generate a significant amount of noise and barking. Furthermore, concerned the present will negatively impact the sale or resale of my property value.
Yep. Thank you. Call the time of the hearing closed. Last call, you been anyone last call opposed? No? Okay. Call that closed. Can we have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, ZBA 23-20, Barry Crimmins for a special permit to operate a dog daycare with the option for overnight accommodations on the premise numbered 405 C Street, Quincy, and make a motion to grant the special permit.
Seconded?
Thanks.
Enthusiastically.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Again, aye.
Aye.
So moved.
Come see us when you need the bigger building in 3 weeks.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you very much.
Thank you.
No.
Give me a minute to clear out. You almost set, Counselor? ZBA
Just clear out.
23-21.
Thank you.
Ann McDermott for special permit, variance finding, demolish the existing two-family home and construct a four-story, six-unit residential on 59 to 61 Spear Street. Counselor?
Thank you,
you're
everyone,
up.
for your patience.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Thank you for hearing our matter this evening. I do represent the applicant, which is Spear Flats LLC. Ann McDermott is the manager of Spear Flats, and he's here this evening as well. Jim Burke is our engineer from DeSalle Burke Sala of Quincy. Lita Elba, Chu and Company Architects of Quincy. So 59 Spear Street. My client is proposing a doggy daycare. I wish that couple the best of luck. It's great to see that support. It's I love that level of
That's a
support.
big
That's great.
testament to what they're doing. That's right.
So 59 Spear Street consists of a lot size of 7,736 square feet roughly in a business Z zoning district. It's currently improved by a two-family residence. This is located, you all know Spear Street. This is located on a block that has really received a lot of attention over the last few years because of its proximity to downtown, obviously, and public transit as well. This board has seen some other proposals at this particular property as well. Larger, as far as number of units, were proposed than what Ann is proposing here. So the proposal before this board this evening, which is designed by Chu and Company Architects of Quincy, is to demolish the existing two-family residence and construct one four-story building containing 6 residential flats. So 2 units on each of those floors. This proposal will accommodate parking under the building for 10 parking spaces, which is what is required in business for the residential use. These residential units will consist of all 2 bedrooms, again, 2 units on each floor. And I will point out, the existing two-family now sits pretty well to one side of the property, leaving a 5-foot setback right now. This new proposed building will be centered. We're going to provide, 10 10-foot setback on one side and the front as well as 12 feet behind. A little bit shy on one side, and that particular side of the property on the other side is adjacent to the Bank of Canton parking lot. So I think this was designed in a way. Ian knows Spear Street really well. He's owned this property for a while. He knows the difficulties on Spear Street. So again, as I've told this board before with projects and people that I represent, we always like to approach this by first assessing the neighborhood. Can the street, support parking at all? Here, we did not think so. So that was so important to us to approach this, providing that necessary parking for these 6 units. There's a real mixed match of properties on Spear Street. There may still be rooming houses. There's 3 families, 2 families, 4 families as well. There's a 20-unit apartment building next door. Many of these properties can't support a great deal of parking, for their individual uses. So that's part of the problem. So we looked at that too, and we want to provide parking for our proposal here, which we've done. For instance, the building next door is a 20-unit apartment building built, many years ago, and I understand, with no parking. So obviously that's a concern there. Again, the team is here, so I'm going to have Jim Burke, who is our engineer. It's important for me to point out, and sometimes I belabor this a little bit, but it's important for this board to know that because of this project being the 6 units, we have been before the planning board for site plan review. This board entirely knows that's a very, very thorough review process. There was a peer review consultant that was hired. Obviously, all the city departments. Ally Rule is our city traffic engineer. She looked at these things. We began this with a proposed 7-unit. We had 12 parking spaces underneath as well. Ms. Rule really didn't care for 2 of the spaces, and we listened. We listened to the neighbors. We listened to Ward Councilor McCarthy as well, and we did drop that 1 unit down to 6. Fits even better. We open up the parking a little bit better for site circulation and things of that nature, and we still provide the 10 spaces. Dave has been great. We did have a neighborhood meeting some time ago because site plan review went on for a few months as well. Very little attendance, at the neighborhood meeting, unfortunately. I always like to have as many people, so it was at the school, at the planning building. There were maybe a half a dozen people that were there. We tried to, understand their concerns and answer what we could at that time. So we received site plan approval from this planning board for the city of Quincy, and obviously this is our next step here. So without further ado, I'm going to have Jim Burke just give a quick presentation as well, and Alita Alba can give a little bit on the architectural.
What about the squatters in the shed?
Yeah, so my office was notified from the Quincy Police Department, and Ann has really sealed that up. There's nobody in the home. It was in that shed. Yeah, that's been sealed up.
When? Yesterday?
Just desperate people.
That was today.
Huh?
It was today.
Today. I was just notified recently by an officer of the Quincy Police
They
Department.
even had shelves and set up a little bit, like little kitchen
that right?
area.
Yep.
Sleeping bags. Pretty cool.
So that's been taken care of.
Thank you.
But let me have Jim Burke give a quick presentation to you all.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Good evening, gentlemen and ladies. My name is Jim Burke with DeSalle Burke Sala offices here in Quincy. And we've been working on this job for quite a while. We've actually did the original design back in, I think, 2018 or so. But what you have is a single building with 10 parking spaces underneath. We did listen to the neighbors with regards, they had a concern with a retaining wall, which we regraded, got rid of that. We did go back and forth quite a bit with the peer review, and we've got a final letter from them saying everything is pretty good. We've got, as far as water supply goes, we've got a configuration that is preferred by Quincy Engineering, which is a 6-inch main reduced down to a 4 for fire and then tapped off with a 2-inch for domestic service. Gravity sewer coming off and connecting to the utilities in the street. The drainage is incredibly robust. One of the comments we got back from peer review is that they wanted to do some water quality. So we've got a proprietary water quality collection system, mostly for, it's a covered parking lot. And it also goes into an incredibly large detention structure, 34 by 4 by 4 concrete honeycomb leaching galleys. I'm sure you've seen them hanging on the edges of the road, but in a 3 by 10 configuration represented by that kind of dashed out square in the center of the building. Soils out there are sands and gravels. We did some actual soil testing on there, and that soil information is on the plans and was reviewed by peer review as well. That's about all I have. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
No, I'm just trying to get 2 more parking spaces out of this place.
We had to, and it was difficult. It was a difficult configuration.
They all 2-bedroom units?
Yeah.
They're all 2-bedroom units?
Yeah, I believe so. 2-bedroom units? Yes.
Any questions?
I mean,
Drainage?
this isn't a special permit, Spear Street is?
1.5.
Which is why, yeah. Are they not part of the special permit? Like Spear Street isn't there? Is it right on the edge? Yeah.
I can answer your question. So I was gonna answer after they had presented. So obviously, we're here for a reason, that's. So Business C does allow for the residential use, but we're here requesting a special permit in a Business C district for that residential use.
Okay.
Variances requests are very minimal.
Okay.
Just set front and one of the side setbacks. But front is only really a half a foot. The other is 5 feet, so very minimal.
But where's the downtown redevelopment bank? Is it cut off at Washington?
Yes.
What's cut off at Washington?
I don't know exactly where that line is, but pretty close.
It's right there. Yeah.
It is right there. It is downtown. It's
should have made
obviously
it a little
walking
bit bigger.
distance. Yeah, I know. I wish they had zoned it a little differently. But again, this site is only so big as well. It can only support so much, and we feel what was proposed here is very reasonable. Again, minimal variances request here, special permit for the residential use. Finding, because this is technically an expansion of a non-conforming building, because of setbacks and things. So I request the finding, from this board as well. And I think the finding is a little easier because it's not certainly not substantially more detrimental. We're providing parking, we're improving, as Jim indicated, the stormwater management, for the site as well. And then providing much needed housing, which I think you can all attest to. I know there's a lot, but there's residential housing needed, in every
Yeah, like,
municipality.
9,000 on the books. Yeah. What's the number of units?
40,000 residents down in the city of Boston, and
Right.
30,000 up in the city of Quincy.
Yeah.
It just keeps scaling.
No, but I'm just saying, it's like,
I'm just
it's
saying.
like 9,000 units
I
come
got you.
online, and it's like,
And they keep selling out?
no, but you just can't get out. You can't get out. Once you hit, you won't be able to get out.
Yeah, and that's not here. I mean, this is a very small
No one uses
proposal
that
considering. And no, I don't think for traffic purposes, there's much use. People that live there could probably
cut
contest
through
that
the
as well.
street, by the way.
It may be,
cut.
in
It's a
some
one-way.
respect.
No, it really ain't.
I think
That's where you go.
Newcomb may be more traveled.
Frank, yeah, if you come in and off the other street, but that's right there, what's the name of that one right in the corner?
It's right turn only when you come out of there, so.
But it says, if you look at it, it says you can turn left.
Really?
Yeah. So it's,
Uh,
did you want to hear some architectural?
Yeah, I really do.
Okay.
Because I'm still looking for 2 spaces. I
This
can
is
fit.
Alida Alba from Chu.
Good evening.
Name and address for the record, please.
Lida Alba with Chewing Company, 1 Billings Road, Quincy.
Okay. Why don't you tell us what the building is made of?
So, this proposed project consists of 6 residential units with 10 parking spaces underneath. Here we have the driveway
And we have parking spaces on both sides of the property, and on the front, we have a lobby with the egress stair, and then second means of egress in the back. And we also have a wheelchair lift to make the first floor unit accessible. So this is like a bird's eye view from above. That's the building footprint above, parking is underneath. So this is the fourth floor of the residential unit, which is above the garage. We have one unit on the left side and the other unit on the right side. Both units are two-bedroom units, two bathrooms. The square footage varies from 1,767 square feet on this side to 1,049 square feet for this unit. On the third floor, it's similar to below. The unit on the left side, 1,274 square feet. The unit on the right side is 1,171 square feet. They're all two bedrooms, two bathrooms. And the upper units have decks on the front and back, and this unit also has two small decks for some outdoor space. So the fourth floor is identical to the third floor. Same thing, two units, two bedrooms, two baths, and decks front and back. So here we have the front elevation. We have a mansard on the top floor to give it more residential look with dormers and.
What's the coverage? What's the coverage up there? What's on the facade? What is up top?
So this is a mansard on the top with architecture shingles, and then we have dormers. The siding on the main, the other two floors is fiber cement lap siding, 4-inch reveal. And here is obviously the parking underneath the building.
See?
So this is the big view. Same idea with the mansard, dormers, and the lap siding on the exterior.
Is that hardy plank?
Yeah, fiber cement. 4-inch reveal. So this is the left side elevation. Same idea, same materials, double hang windows for more residential look, and that's the parking is underneath. And this is the other side, pretty similar to the left side. Here we have a rendering of, this is the proposed building, and that's the building next door, looking east. And then this is looking west on the other direction. That's the proposed building, and that's the brick building.
It's not us.
Street view.
It's just the same thing, just not.
And this is just some of the views on all sides, renderings of the building. Any questions?
Yeah, no, not about the building. I just got a question about the parking space. How are you assigning any parking spaces since it is condo, correct?
Yes, so there's gonna, obviously, the condominium docs will really control that, you know.
That's a bad answer. If you buy a unit, you don't get an automatic one space, and then the rest might be bidden on, I don't know, but you mean to tell me you buy a unit there, you don't get a space?
You would get a deeded space if you wanted one.
Is it extra?
If you wanted one.
Is it extra?
I don't think we've gotten into that great detail if it is extra. A lot of times the space
Because
would.
if someone's gonna sell a condo, and then you're gonna start selling parking spaces.
Yeah, likely.
Listen, it's just me, I'm letting you know. You don't have to finish for me. I can finish myself, I swear I can, counsel. So if you can't give me an answer, I won't be voting in favor.
There'll be one deeded space per unit, yes.
And then,
Yes,
that's automatic, goes with the price.
that's correct.
Okay. You're saying that's done?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know what happened in a few places around here, and it bothered me, that there was like 18 spaces, so many units, and then all of a sudden I hear you can buy the space for $3,000 a year. Like, what are you talking about? This is bizarre.
Right.
They own part of this building. So, and it wasn't good, and it's happened a couple times.
No, and I've done some projects where the mixed use component adds another layer. You know, and for those particular projects, there's really got a full, you need a real full parking management plan, you know, to control that. So I have that
It is,
proposal coming before this.
we
board.
should know
Here-
before we go vote on anything, whether you buy a condo, you don't even get a parking space.
You get, you would get a space, correct, yes. Yep. I mean, that's a no-brainer, that has to.
No, it really is.
That has to be the
It
case.
happened, it already happened a couple times in the state.
Yeah, no, that has to be the case where, the you know, one per unit.
I don't know how you
would
split
get
up
a
a
space.
half, you know.
And then, you know, if a unit if someone purchasing a unit wanted a second space,
Oh, of course.
then you might, you know, charge
Of
something
course.
for the second space, yes. Yeah.
All right. Any questions?
I have one. The garage, will it be covered with a door or will it just be open to the
It's
public?
open.
It's gonna be open so people can walk in from the street?
It's open, yes.
Have you considered having a garage door there?
I guess the planning board did not suggest having a garage door. Sometimes they don't like them because it creates like traffic coming in, like people have to wait here for the garage door. In another project, they didn't like that. So and they didn't request a door.
Who has to wait for the garage door?
Well, they were concerned that if there's
Waiting off
like
the
people
street.
driving in, that they're gonna wait here for the garage
Oh,
door and
the
they.
traffic coming in.
As
Traffic
opposed,
coming
yeah.
on the street,
Positive.
and- Yeah.
Maybe a remote control that could, you know, open the door before they actually.
Right, yeah, it was never brought up to have that. On the side of each, it again is open, but we took into consideration the Campbell's building next door, the apartment building, you know, so we tried to provide as much landscape, and that's why we have a 10-foot setback on that side, to provide as much landscape between those two properties as much as we could.
They actually
And,
did request we make the driveway 22 feet wide because we have a 20 feet wide driveway.
Yeah.
And they request a wider.
So we did
driveway,
22 feet wide, yeah. Yeah.
As an architect, just want your opinion, do you think the building would look better with a garage door or without?
Well, if you have a garage door, then you kind of have to enclose it because then it looks like kind of weird to have the door and then all open on both sides. That's kind of I think.
I guess I'm looking at the wrong elevation, I'm just looking at this.
Probably there.
I see nothing.
Because both sides are open.
Both sides need to be open.
I'm gonna keep these out. Pretty sure.
They do that.
Just thinking for security purposes and keeping trespassers.
Other vehicles out of there, yeah, there's gonna have to be some management in that respect, obviously.
This building will have
You know,
management on
enforcement.
site?
Not on site with 6 units, you know, obviously, but with the condominiums comes trustees. You know, unit owners will be the trustees.
So
You know, some,
rely on cameras, I guess?
I'm sure, like anywhere, there's some surveillance as well, yeah.
Sure. I just think that covered parking looks better than
I
open
agree.
for
But
that
if
many
it's all
cars.
enclosed, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And your question on additional spaces, so that's the only thing the traffic engineer really brought up with respect. It was more site circulation. You know, it wasn't an issue with parking and concerns with parking and for that number of units, it was more site circulation. So it was actually these 2 spaces here, which is in the back of the site. Those they wanted us to get rid of. So that's when we came down to the number of units as well at the same time, to be able to accommodate the 10 spaces, which we, you know.
You don't even have an extra space for guests to come on, you know?
Well, we do. Well, based on the 1.5, that's 9 spaces for 6 units.
Depends
so,
how much,
you know.
yeah,
You
you
know.
bought them more than they
Yeah.
No one's gonna buy them unless they need them, so.
But, you know, with respect to the other dimensional requirements, you know, it's 500 square feet per unit, you know, for.
I'm not saying that, I'm just saying, I think zoning can be changed. I mean, if we're gonna build these buildings, we have to have 2 cars per unit. If we don't, we shouldn't be building them. That's just my opinion.
I understand.
It's just, you gotta get cars off the street. And I know there's people here that say, don't let them park on the street. Are you kidding me?
And knowing Spear
Where they
Street,
gonna go?
that's what we've done, you know, and that's how we approach it, you know, yeah.
Right. Any other questions, Mr. O'Brien? Good. All set? All right.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone that wants to speak in council? You want to say something? Okay. Okay. Does anyone want to speak in favor? First call? Second call? Mr. Dunn?
think what address I'm gonna use. 122 Mayor Thomas J. McGrath Highway. I'll actually be in a butter of this project. I'm an equity owner in 122 Mayor McGrath. I support this. I know there's been other proposals brought before the board for this particular property. I think it was a halfway house or something. But this gets a blighted piece of property cleaned up. I understand Marty's concerns about parking. It's a one-way, it's two-way up into the bank parking lot, then it turns to a one-way. Since the city implemented that, there's been a great slowdown in traffic on that street. But I think it'd be a great improvement, and I wish the developer good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else want to speak in favor? Second call? Third call? All part of hearing closed. Letter here from the DPW, we have reviewed and provided comments for this project to the planning board. All comments provided have been addressed. We do not have any more at this time. Is there anyone opposed or undecided? Opposed or undecided? First call? Second call? Come up, name and address for the record.
My name's Stan Campbell. I own the building right next door, 53 to 57 Spear Street. This lot here, I'm all for developing it. It's been an eyesore, and the halfway house wasn't the greatest thing either. But these folks keep saying that they have parking under the building. They don't have parking under the building. The reason that they have parking is because they push their parking right up on top of my lot line. And they're allowed to do that, okay? They have building setback. Building setback for that height building is supposed to be 10 feet. They just violated to 5 feet. Why? They have a choice. They can drop the building lower, and then they can go out to 5 feet. They can go out all the way around. But no, they want to keep a high building, and they want to push out. They don't meet their setbacks at all. If you make them go inside.
That's why they're here.
Right. And so, that's why I'm here.
Right.
So if you push them back to what they're supposed to have on the parking setbacks, then they only get 8 cars there. Whether it's 8 cars or not, it's a 5-unit. I'm not really complaining about the 5 or 6. I'm complaining about them being allowed to park their cars, headlights right up, facing my building a few feet away. The Spear Street has 12 parking spaces on the whole street. My building has no parking at all. My building is right on its lot line. That was, if you say that was a precedence, maybe it was a precedence, but that building was built when none of us were alive, and there were no cars. So, maybe we can by now figure that the horseless buggy might be around for a while, so. I think it's ridiculous how congested that street is. And I wish I had parking. I wish I could get parking or buy parking.
I'm gonna ask them, if there's any lights shining in buildings, they have to put some protection up there so it don't happen.
There's a fence on that side,
How high?
probably a 6-foot fence.
Might need 8, I don't know, because it's, you still get that reflection off the.
Absolutely put that into consideration, while rolling cars and open into those bigger spaces, right.
Right. So it's a 6-foot fence you're gonna put it in now?
Yeah.
All right.
And I don't understand at all how the justification is, because it's the property on the other side is owned by a bank parking lot currently, we should be able to do 5 feet. Why 5 feet? Just go to 10 feet. And then you can build, you want to drop lower, build your 5 then. It's unfair to, whether it's the bank property or my property, and you violate the setbacks, you take away from my value, you take away from their value. I may not always want to be a bank.
But they're trying to increase the value and get rid of the plot. I know what you're saying, exactly what, I know what you're saying.
What about,
Huh?
what about buying the industrial parking?
Anyway,
So it's going up to a parking, right, you're going against the parking.
From that side, that's what he's saying, like, why not a buck closer to that side? Because-
It is.
Even more.
I mean, oh, that don't bother me. I mean, it's 5 feet.
5
ain't it?
feet.
4 feet.
4 feet,
Yeah, it's
another
5
2 feet,
feet.
cut it in half. And like,
So move the building, you're saying, towards them. I don't know how many, I thought it was on that side.
it is, but I mean, go-
5 feet on that side, right?
Yeah,
5 feet on
5
the
feet on
bank
the bank
On
side.
the bank side, 10 feet on yours, correct?
A little under 10 feet.
But again, it's 10.6 is required, and we're at 10.
Oh, you're
Okay.
not at 10. Actually, if you look at the plan.
Well, the survey is lying.
Okay, so the survey is
Wait a
lying.
minute, wait a minute, whoa, 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 no, come on, we can't do that.
it's too late, we've been there too long.
That's the site plan.
If you look at the plan, they give their setback on the back of their lot as 9'8". So I
And I thought
don't know
I
where he's
saw
getting
that too.
10. Guess he's rounding up.
I thought I saw it here somewhere.
Well, it's because it's skewed, I guess he has
Right.
10 feet here and 9 foot 10.
Right, so
it's
he's short on the back.
That's what I'm looking at, it comes back like it's good fit is.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, I'd say thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else posing on the side?
I have a question. I'm done.
Come on up.
Beverly Campbell, 20 Azalea Way in Hanover. My question is, you talking about, see, my side of the building. So I've got these, they're protruding out. The building is here, their cars are sticking out. They don't have the setback, and we're worried about the setback, the lights being on top of our building and shining in, and that, okay, that's fine. But you know what, now you're talking
Well,
about a
they have 18
6
foot
foot.
spaces, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, they're in their parking spaces, they're not sticking out.
They're sticking out from the building.
No.
Yes, they
Oh,
are.
yes, they are.
She's talking about, like, you know how, like, the building above is here.
Yeah.
And the park is 2 feet more.
But you have an 18-foot space. It's in its space.
Right.
What kind of fence is a 6 foot fence made out of?
We could do 8.
They're gonna do, house fence.
8-foot fence. Right.
So, first of all, you're really close to my building, and we've got cars sticking out there. And now you're gonna put a
this thing
6
from
foot
outside.
solid white fence that's gonna be all along my lot line, and it's gonna look like hell.
Well, if I just may, the parking lot itself is about 2.5 feet below the ground next to your property. So parking, you know, your headlights are typically 2.5 feet off the ground. With the fence and the landscaping on that edge, I mean, the headlights are gonna be pretty low.
And you got a 6-foot fence on that side?
You don't need 4.
Huh?
You only need 4, really.
But
I asked you a question.
But
Is
6
there,
foot
or you
fence.
have, you got a 6-foot fence?
Yes.
Right.
So would you like to be looking or walking past your house and look next to that building?
Really?
I think so.
So what do you want then? Nothing?
Well, what
No.
about trees?
Give us a clue what you're looking for. I don't know what you're
Okay,
looking
what
for.
about trees?
like arborvitae's or something?
There
Yeah.
are some plans.
Let's look at the landscape plan
Yeah,
here.
let's look at that.
There's 1, 2, 3, you got what, six trees there?
Well, that's on, yeah, that's on that side.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's without, but if you put a fence in, that's not gonna, I mean, yeah, well, you could still put them
Well, why
behind
don't we
it.
look at a color picture? Why don't we
You
look at a
could
color
reverse it with the
picture?
fence, and then on your side, put,
The trees.
Trees. Yeah, so do the fence at the end of the driveway, at the end,
Well,
right
can we
there.
look at a picture here of my building, right next to their building, and see what this fence looks like? I haven't seen that.
No, it could be inside the trees, is what he's saying.
Yes,
Yes, that's my building.
And put the fence inside the tree.
so put the fence on the inside of the trees.
Right?
could do that, yeah.
I mean, a fence could go on the inside of the trees, and you're looking at all the trees,
So on your side.
and it's gonna hide most of the fence. And it's 2 feet lower.
The white fence,
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be better?
we can do that, yeah.
Would that be better?
yes,
All right,
it would be better.
so we'll make the note of it. The fence
But-
goes on the inside of the
It's
trees.
still how far away from our property those cars stick out now?
All right, come in,
I don't know
let's,
what yours is. I don't know what
everyone hold up here. Ask us a question, we'll get to
No,
you.
she was asking her husband.
Oh, I didn't see him. I didn't know that. I thought it was fucking her. I'm going there
No.
to check the net. No one can hear what's going on here.
So it's just shy, so it needs to be 10'6". It's just shy.
Right.
The thing is, it's just really up in our face. And I don't know why it's being allowed to be. But besides that, the parking, it's not enough. It's like, we've planned this out. We
I
looked at
believe
it.
that too, but the rules are 9 spaces and he's given 10. I don't believe it either. I think we should have minimum of 2 spaces per unit.
Because
But
right
that ain't the
now-
rule, so
Okay,
if
so
I
let
got
me
something
just
to
tell
do
you
and help
something.
change
In that
the rules,
whole-
I'm gonna do
The
that.
whole perimeter going around from like McGrath to Newcomb, down,
Yeah.
I forget what that's, there's no parking on any of that. The only parking in that whole block is Spear Street. And you can't park down by, the other buildings, and you can't park all the way up. You can't park all the way up by the,
No,
the
the little
church.
street between Spear
So
and
what you can do-
YMCA. 'Cause I park on the side over there once. in a while.
So what you can do is going down Spear Street. You have exactly,
Francis, that's it.
Francis, thank you. There's exactly 12 spots.
I'm Francis?
No,
No,
on
no,
Spear.
on-
No,
There's
my
only
brother owns a house and I park in front of his house. It's a sidewalk, you just park there,
Well,
you know?
so you don't get chicken, but most
No, but
people
he's inside. He's inside where his cars are off the street. He's got two driveways. He's all set, but when I go to visit him, there's no place.
12 out of 12 spots is right along here, and that's because that building's a mess, and nobody parks there, and nobody lives there. So once you take away, once you start filling this in, we're even reducing it more
No,
than 12.
Well, they'll,
No, you got a driveway coming in, you still can park on the street in front of the building. Okay,
I mean, technically, there's no.
Like everyone else, they don't know
a sticker, so you need a sticker.
They don't know that.
There's a driveway there now.
yeah, that's what I mean, so.
It's on the side of the home, it's not in the middle, but
Right.
it's still,
It's also not. You'll have another spot up front and a spot in back.
it's not 22 feet.
Well, we've lost focus a little bit.
parking space to get.
Marty, get us back on board here.
Yeah, I know. All right, what other questions do we have?
I don't know.
I don't know. So I understand they want the fence on the inside, they don't want the building, I understand that part. And you want the fence on the inside of the trees. Is there anyone else opposed or undecided?
Okay.
Okay.
My
Name
name
and address
is
for the
Josephine
record.
Aliberti, and you've seen me before here. So
I
I'm like.
didn't hear you, ma'am. Name and address for the record.
Josephine Aliberti,
Okay,
and I live at 16 Ardell Street, Quincy, but I have properties on Spear Street,
yeah,
2 historical places. Okay, that's been my whole thing. I know nothing's gonna happen, but I want to make it known. That's a historical district area. You have part of the street 2 ways. The other part of the street is 1 way. In front of my building, there's 4 parking lots, I believe. I can't park there. They're always taken up. So we do have parking for our people there. But when you tell me that people don't need their cars because they live near the T and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't work. People drive cars. So that area is totally congested. Spear Street is on both sides. Yes, there's some rooming home. And maybe they could convert them into bed and breakfast homes someday. Who knows? If it was a nice area, nice sidewalks, nice lighting, nice trees. We have such a beautiful area right next to the historical district area. The Church of the Presidents, the Bethany Church. And all we want to do is build stuff like that that doesn't go with the architecture of the area. At least if you build something, it should at least, reflect the area that it's being built in. So I know nothing's gonna happen. That's why you don't see people at these places come here. That's why people don't go to meetings. When you have these meetings, you say, oh, only 12 people came. Nobody's interested. That is not true. People are interested what's going on in Quincy. And my voice is not gonna be heard, I know. So there.
but it is. If you want some changes on the building.
I think that building,
You don't
at
want to
least,
speak up.
that building, the outside should at least conform with bricks or something that goes with the area, or stone.
The historical district ends at their building.
Right.
Why is it in there?
I didn't draw the map.
Well, the house that's standing on there now is a historical home.
I understand, but as far as the city looks from a historical map, I just looked it up, man, and that it ends.
Well, that's kind of silly, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I think you're right.
I mean, well, why don't we change the laws? We can't change laws.
I'm not elected.
I'm just saying, I know you guys are probably
Well, hey, they can
volunteering
help
and
you.
everything. I'm
Hey,
just
right in this
saying,
room.
we need to change the zoning laws. Come on. What's the matter with the city of Quincy?
Do something.
Do something. All right, I said my say. That is honestly how I feel.
I think that.
I have a beautiful Prairie building built way back. It's one of the first. I own the two-family home that the
The
Captain
two-family
Legis
that's
started.
there is really pretty.
I put
If
all
that
the
was
money
done
in
over
it.
there,
I didn't
gorgeous
ask the city to do it. Why can't the rest of them in
Gorgeous
the area do it? No, they want to build a big building and get a ton of money. That's it. I could have done the same thing, but I did because I love Quincy. Well, what good does it do me? So that's it. That's my statement.
Thank you. Is there anyone else opposed or undecided? You can't have more than 4 things on the agenda. That's the rule 6. We're gonna have to change something here.
Hi,
That was the easy
long.
one.
That was easy. That wasn't long. I mean, it
Joseph?
wasn't like, could've
Joseph
been-
Alaverti, and I live in 16 Adele Street in Queens.
I'm sorry, I was speaking out of turn.
Okay.
Name again?
Joseph Alaverti,
Thank you.
16 Adele Street in Quincy.
Okay,
And
Joseph.
I know Spear Street pretty good, and the street is real small. It's not a big street. And people park one side, and sometimes somebody stops on the other side. A car can go by.
If you had sidewalks in that street, you couldn't take 2
This-
cars. It wouldn't fit.
Right. Well, they park
That's
on
why
top.
they drive up on the side of the street.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my problem, and the building now, we take the family down, to put it 3, 4 floors, and that's not good. Parking is, I don't care about parking because there's no space, and traffic. So there's a problem there. They should look at the street and do something about it so that they can afford to have a, take it down the house and put a building, I don't know.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How many units do you have on the street?
I have a 6 and 2.
And has there been problem renting because of congestion and?
We have a parking inside,
Okay, that fits for how many?
more than I need.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, I was just curious, 'cause
Yeah, I have in the back, 6 units,
Okay,
and,
and the 2 you have
People park
staggered?
there.
Okay.
Does everyone have 2 parking spaces?
No.
No, you get 1?
Well, I have some cars parked there, but I don't want them to have to park. When I rent, I say, I give 1 parking space, because in the winter, because it's a circle, it's hard to.
But he's given 1.5, that's what I'm saying. So everyone in the building has 1.5, so you can only have 1, you can't have a half. We're gonna bid on the other one, it's gonna be first
On
one
the
with the
6th,
bid. Whoever
sorry.
wins, get the best
I
bid.
think on the
gets that
6th I
spot.
can do 1.5, but in the winter, the plow cannot go by,
Not
because
this
it's
one.
a circle.
Not this one, but we didn't need it.
Hey, what happened to all that money?
Savings.
Anyway, Spear Street, we have to watch because it's going to be, after that, it's going to be much worse later on.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to build something.
Yeah.
Everybody's going
It's all, it's everywhere.
They take it down sometime and they put a bigger one.
Well, the historical building, the historical district would prevent a lot of that, so, you know.
No, not yet. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Opposed or undecided? Come on, Dave, come here.
Dean Jacobs, 10 Charles Street, Quincy, Mass. I'm opposed to this, well, I'm undecided, but leaning towards opposed to this project. You know, I share some of the concerns about the parking underneath the structure, no one, I know you guys can address it, no one wants an open, garage. People are just gonna walk through there, literally be sleeping and someone's walking into your house. You know what I mean? I see it like, a friend of mine runs that driving school in North Quincy, right across, and so I worked some hours for him. So I'll be there like 9, 10 o'clock at night, I'll be getting in my car, and people are just walking underneath, like from the T. It's very unsettling.
Well, they're looking for cars that are unlocked.
Well, they're also doing drugs. But,
That's what I'm saying.
but what I'm saying is like, you know, maybe close up a little bit, put some lattice, you know, kind of close that in. It doesn't look, great, but, I'm actually, you know, I'm actually opposed to the project, but if it is gonna be built, it needs some attention to the parking, because that's, all right, my other question is about the rent, selling of the parking spaces. So each unit's gonna get one, so there's 6 units. So there's 3 extra spaces. Correct. 4 extra spaces. So what happens if everybody's like, nah, I'm not gonna go for that extra space? You're just gonna, I mean, once you've sold the whole building, I mean, you can't just own those 4 parking spaces.
No, I think if they're available, I think they'll be available for people to park, obviously.
But you will, but once
Not a needed space.
but once all the units are sold.
Questions through us, David.
Right, well, so once all the units are sold,
And so you think that they're gonna put like, online, you can park here for $5?
all I'm saying is, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, once the units are sold,
Yeah.
the 6 units are sold, and the 6 parking spaces that are deeded with them, and there's 4 left,
Yeah.
does the developer still own those other 4
Yeah,
parking
yeah,
spaces?
he can give them a
Or the
sell to whoever he
association.
wants, the association, whoever's gonna
So,
sell.
yeah, I'm just
Not
saying,
the developer, association will own.
well, I'm just saying, the people should, well, the association.
That's
so
why I wanna make
association
sure
will own.
everyone gets at least one, so you get a deeded space. If I ain't a- And then what I do, rent my.
Right, well, I'm just making sure that there's not gonna be a 7th owner, and who just owns 4 parking
No,
spaces.
no.
No, ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. And they rent them.
Huh?
So it happens, and then they rent them.
It happens in
Not
South
here.
Boston, and I don't think it's gonna happen here.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you. That would be a first for me. I know they charge money for them. Bizarro.
Who are you?
Name and address?
I'm Joe Hines, 197 Elm Street.
Jeff, go ahead, tell us what you.
Couple of questions. I just want to point out that there are, Rob, there are single families on the street also.
I missed that, I'm sorry.
There's-
Okay.
There's several single families, so that does change the dynamics of the neighborhood. I have a question for the board or Robert. Is it possible for a project like this to get built without coming for zoning that is supposed to go to zoning?
Yeah, they shrink the building and.
No, if it's supposed to go to
Oh,
zoning,
that's
no, outside the ZBA or,
Outside of-
unless you, well, if
Unless
you're
you
in
go all the way.
like, one of these special permitting districts, like, there's one right now in downtown, there's one in,
It's not far from
Wollaston.
us, right.
So if you're in a special permitting district, they bypass zoning.
But if you're just outside like this project here, then.
If you're in this location, no, there's no way for them.
That's correct, Rob?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. There was a story last night, I believe, on Chronicle, talking about green space. We definitely need more green space in the neighborhood. I'm not even sure how much green space is here. And, you know, as far as then, maybe they said it, but I didn't hear what they said about snow plowing, where the snow is gonna go. Is that addressed? Did I miss it? I'm not sure.
No, no, it didn't because it wasn't safe.
And the parking's under, so there's not a lot of
Right.
exposed,
But the snow getting up to the building, where would that go?
where the park is,
Yes.
it'd have to be removed. You know, we have some snow storage in the rear, we have a 12-foot setback in the rear. You know, so that's kind of our sort of snow farm back there, snow storage in the rear. The 12-foot, again, 12-foot setback off the driveway, so in the rear of the building.
So is that gonna be green space or?
Green, yeah.
So I mean, is it gonna be a designated area to put the snow?
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yep,
Okay, thank you.
sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Concern I have about projects like this, we're not against downtown being developed, but like Josephine said, and her husband, it is a historic house, even if it's just outside. That was a Hardwick house. I don't know if people who remember way back, the Hardwick estate where the IHOP was, or where the courthouse was. I don't know if anyone remembers that. They're the ones, that was one of their houses over there. And yet, once these houses are gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
And there is some, you know, the Quincy says that, the city says it loves history, but we keep tearing these houses down. I mean, it could be a beautiful house if someone wanted to put the money in.
Oh, it could be
Like
good.
Like Josephine and her husband did. They did a great job doing their house over. And, you know, it seems like we're going in a different direction now,
Well, it's the cost, the money and everything else, that's the problem.
but they did it not too long ago, you know.
And it's taxes, it's everything, making this all happen, it's,
I understand that.
that's the hard part.
And I understand what you're saying, but we are still a neighborhood. And, you know, they say they're protecting the neighborhoods of Quincy. Well, we're a neighborhood that's getting ripped apart brick by brick. And,
Well, it's, I mean, that's the way you feel about it. A lot of people say it's progress. It's people getting in and out of the city. They wanna live in a major city, they don't wanna live in Boston, they don't live in Quincy. It's just getting overbuilt, I think.
I know, and when you got people that
In
live,
downtown, we haven't got those big projects yet, even down here.
and when you've got people that have lived in, you know, families that have been in the same neighborhood since the 1800s, 7 generations in one house, and then they feel like they're getting the squeeze put on them, so it's tough.
It is tough, it's
And,
tough.
the other issue is, why are we allowing developers to go in and do these kind of projects? But then, when someone puts in for an in-law apartment, we'll just shoot them down. So like, on my street, there was a particular house, has parking for 7 cars, it's a 2-family, and they looked to put an in-law apartment in the attic with dormers, and they were shot down the first night. And yet we allow these other buildings to be built. It doesn't make sense when we don't take care of the residents that have been there.
Because there's a lot of smaller houses that were right beside it probably, and that's probably why they go in. This is looking like this big giant thing, the building with dormers everywhere.
I understand.
Well, once dormers on every house lot.
I understand, but for example, on Newcomb Street, one of the residents tried building a 2-family on the empty lot. They couldn't, they had to withdraw without prejudice, but then they give permit for a monstrosity. It doesn't make sense. You know, we can't forget the people
Because they
that
all
live there.
wanted dormers on that, remember?
No, I'm talking about on Newcomb Street, when Michael McKenna was trying to build a 2-family, where the building got built, got the permit, it's not being built now. You know, right across from the Y parking lot, there was the 2 houses put together, the Hayes house where the law firm was. You know what I'm talking now?
Newcomb's right behind. Right behind the what?
Right at the
Yeah, I
bottom
know.
of Francis Ave.
I don't remember
I mean,
this.
they had
property.
like
I don't
3
know that
big
one.
projects down there that got approved and haven't done nothing.
I
Haven't
agree.
done anything.
I
And those things have to be like gone anyway because
Yeah.
it's been so long.
I agree, but someone tried building a 2-family on that lot and they couldn't build it, someone that lived there. you
Well,
know?
that'd be a reason.
I know, they withdrew without prejudice because they weren't gonna get it, but my point is, let's not forget the people that have been around. You know, we have, obviously, historic houses and,
Again, Mr. Heinz, but he's getting his parking, he's making that blighted property a lot nicer, he's moving closer to the bank, so people want more, he's trying to do everything. You know, we cut down to 6, I think, I don't know, one time we made 9 up there, but
and I understand the accommodations were made, and there's been a lot of good in the neighborhood too. I'm not saying everything's bad, but what I'm saying is, we can't forget the people that live there.
you're right.
And that seems to be the case of what's happening.
I'm not gonna get in an argument with you, sir. I adamantly take offense to that. I'm second generation in Quincy. I bought my childhood home. I care deeply about the future of this city. I look at every plan and proposal, just like each one of these gentlemen do, on their own time. And I'm sick and tired of people insinuating impropriety by this board.
Right.
And I think, excuse
Calm
me,
down.
excuse me,
Calm down.
You're out of line, Brian.
I'm not out of line. I'm sick and tired of it, and you're out of line. Why don't you leave?
I will not. Brian, you're out of line.
You don't tell me anything, all right? I'm just sick and tired, and I'm not accusing you. You're just asking the general question. I've never seen you here. I'm just sick and tired of it. Every week in and week out, these guys are getting their heads kicked in. I'm getting my head kicked in for doing what we see fit, for doing what we look at in every single project, and I'm sick of it. I am. I'm done after tonight. I'm resigning from this board after tonight. I'm so sick of it. Oh, good.
Hey,
Wise guy.
knock that off. That was pretty fresh, really.
You're a clown, dude. Do something for the city instead of just complaining about it,
Oh, she's
brother.
got a big mouth.
All right, whoa.
And I appreciate you, dude. I really do. And I appreciate your sentiments. It's just, it's entirely frustrating that we just, there's an insinuation. It did.
Hey, outside, both of you. No,
I just want you to know, sir, I just want you to know that these gentlemen care as much about the future of your city as you do and the past, and trying to blend every piece of it that we possibly can. We know we need growth. We know we need new growth. We've been put on this board during a time which our governor said that they wanted the state of Massachusetts to add 100,000 housing units in the greater Boston area. Like, we've been put in the most challenging circumstance, and we come in here week in and week out on a volunteer basis, and it is just infuriating that people think otherwise. And I don't mean to take that out on you. It's a long night. I apologize. I apologize if you feel attacked, and I'll talk to you outside after. That was not my impression. It wasn't my impression that you feel that way. I think you feel the challenges that we have. And I've said the thing about Res A and taking care of second generation up here numerous times. These guys have heard me say we need a solution for families to age in place and to be able to do that. So I'm championing some of the same things that you bring up. I apologize if I came across as aggressive.
It's frustrating. It's
I can appreciate it. It's been a long night for everyone, and you may not have seen me up there, but we've been up here many times. Believe me, I don't want to be here tonight either. But I'm here because I care about my neighborhood. We're not making any money on this. Everyone else is, not you, but a lot of people, whether it's the developer, the lawyers, but a lot of people are making money. We're not making money.
I understand. I feel the same way, my friend.
And I appreciate what you're saying. It's just.
But we have a balance. So we have a landowner willing to develop in the city, okay?
I understand.
And I don't own that property and you don't own that property. And he's, trying to work with us and we're trying to work with him. And that's the world in which we all live. Like, none of us are up here developing these properties either.
I understand that, but we are a residential neighborhood that's been destroyed over the years. I would just keep getting close. This wouldn't go on in other neighborhoods in the city. I don't believe it would go on in other neighborhoods, because they protect other neighborhoods in the city. Our neighborhood, just my opinion, for some reason, it just gets divided. Well, you want to really get into it, how, in my opinion, my street had 3 different wards, because they would never consider even dividing the neck into 3 different wards, never mind one street. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's all part of the problem.
I get it. I said, is this your,
And you're right next to downtown.
is this the council
So
is this street have 4 councilors too? We came up
There's
here.
no disrespect to anyone, but that's part of the problem. And it's
Fix your line in the district.
I appreciate.
I get it.
No, all right. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Hines. Is there anyone else opposed or undecided? Come on up, name and address for the record. Must be a moan up there.
Resident Thomas Malone. My name is Nancy Sodillo. I live at 32 Newcomb Street. And my big concern, and every meeting I go to, it's the same concern, it's the traffic. I'm right down the street from Quincy High School. Newcomb Street is a cut through. To get to that end of Spear Street, you need to come up Newcomb Street, go up Francis Ave, and go down Spear Street. Now, what happens if there is a big fire on that end of the street? And there's been fire apparatus there. There's fire apparatus there constantly on Spear Street because of one of the rooming houses there. It can be day, night, whatever, because I can see it right from my house.
And then there a lot of them?
Yeah, whether somebody's having a heart attack, whether it's a fire, but there's fire engines there all the time. And the traffic from 7:15 in the morning until 8 o'clock, I can't leave my driveway because everybody's dropping their kids off to school. From 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you get the same thing. There's been many people that have almost been killed at the end of Newcomb Street trying to cross McGrath Highway. There is not a flashing light, there is
No,
a
it's
yellow
two signs, yeah,
sign,
two signs.
and that's it.
Right.
There are times where I have to leave my house, go up around the YMCA, sit at the lights by the police station to go to the Stop and Shop when I could have probably walked there quicker.
Right.
But I take my life in my hands if I do that.
Right.
So traffic and adding more, I mean, granted, it's only 10, but you've still got those 10 people that want to come up Newcomb Street, up Francis Ave, and are they either gonna do an illegal turn? And then you have people, oh yeah, they bang U-turns there all the time and go right up Spear Street when they're not supposed to. Then at 4:30 in the afternoon, you've got the traffic coming out of City Hall, you've got the traffic coming out of the Harvard Vanguard building, and they go right down Spear Street, and they're not supposed to go to the other end. So it's a big concern, traffic. And even in the entire city is a big traffic.
Everywhere.
You know,
Everywhere.
I saw traffic yesterday afternoon at 5:30, all the way up the ramp by Home Depot.
Well,
Bergen
I
Parkway.
went to the doctor in Dedham. It took me 45
Yeah.
minutes to go from the house next to the highway, and I was in Dedham in 10 minutes, once I hit the highway.
Right.
It's
I mean,
ridiculous.
it is, it's just a traffic jam.
Now that's where we live.
And they keep
We live in
saying,
a major
oh, people
metropolitan
are
area.
not gonna own cars. That
See,
is
that
crap.
maybe
I
it's
own
time to
3
go to
cars in the
Tennessee.
truck.
I don't know.
I
I gotta
mean,
go
come
somewhere.
on. That's just me.
I believe you. I hate it myself. I
Yeah.
hate the traffic.
Thank
I
you.
hate it. Football. I don't, I try not to go anywhere at certain times now. Anyone else? Last call?
I'm undecided.
Last call?
Please be quick, John.
Go
I
ahead,
am
John.
gonna be quick, I'm sorry. Tough night tonight, everybody. John Waterfield, 62 Grandma Road. You know, Mr. Rydell, I hope you don't quit the board, okay? You know, I think you're a good member on the board. I'd miss you if you did quit. And also, I wanna put a shout out to Jay Duker. I think he did a great job when he was here. I'm sure what people are gone, so I'm not afraid to speak about that.
Well, he's so tell me everyone's gone, I won't get beat up.
But, this is business C, this area?
Correct.
Okay, so I mean, this is the area, I mean, we've seen the Spear people come up a bunch of times. I actually think, Attorney Fleming, out of all your projects,
Attorney in favor?
this is one of your better ones. I like this project, and, Mr. McDermott has developed a couple successful projects already. So we have a good developer, good attorney, good plans. It's just a matter of the master plan where people who are living in these areas that this is the future. So I feel bad for these people who are living in business C. This is the place where we're becoming the most dense. And we need this new growth to pay for things like new streets, for seawalls, to just pay for police, pay for fires, give the teachers the raises that they really deserve. So, I mean, I know it's tough to, you know, for the people that live in the neighborhood, but I mean, you know, you do have the right, some of the people who are complaining tonight are people who are also renting too. So, I mean, it's just, you guys do a good job, everyone does a good job. I wish we could all just get along. We'll take a Rodney King quote and end it. Peace.
Thank you. Anyone else, last call? Followed by hearing closed. Council, you want to speak?
David Tappi, Ward 1, Councilor, 48 Whitney Road. Just a comment about Quincy Square. When I bought 25 years ago on Whitney Road, I knew Quincy Square was there. I knew the high school was there. I knew where I was moving into. I knew it wasn't the end of the neck or Adams Shore or somewhere far out in Squantum, so I knew we were gonna have activity. I'm in favor of the 6 units because I've been dealing with this all the way back to when Boston Properties was trying to push 14 or 12 in there, along with the sober house conversation that went on. These guys at least have whittled it down to 6. I know we talk about parking, 10 spots. I don't believe you're gonna have 10 cars. I think a lot of people that buy a condo there are gonna look at the convenience of walking up to the T and having that ability. They'll probably have a car, but I see it. My sister has a condo over in Malden, very similar neighborhood. She doesn't drive. Her spot sits out there empty. She gets the spot, like you were saying, Chairman, it's part of the deal. But anybody parks in there. And there's a number of people that they just don't drive. They just hop on the T, they take the bus, they go to work. I do agree with Member Chin I do like garage doors too. I think it does pose an issue where people do end up walking through want to have access in there. And I like the idea of the fence and arborvitae's or whatever to muffle the headlights on that side, right? But, that area, as I said, I compare it where I am, and I'm at Sullivan Tire. We're in an area where we know that there's gonna be units put in, it's zoned for that, we're on the edge of the city. And they're always gonna be looking at that, and, you know, some of the buildings that are down there, some of the rooming houses and whatever, are probably the buildings you want to disappear and have something go in. You know, but, Mr. Fleming and Mr. McDermott, I think have done a good job to get it down to 6. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. All right, so to us, you know, a door ain't a bad idea, it really is, when you clean it up. And it doesn't matter whether they like it, whether you want it or not, we want it. So, with that cleanup, yeah, because people walk in there and they rip off your cars. What they do, they go through your shit, and it shouldn't happen. So I think maybe an electric door, and then we're gonna put the
Well, if you're gonna put, I mean, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna wanna figure out how to enclose the whole thing.
No, I don't think so at all. Why?
Because why are you gonna
Because
why are you gonna put a door with a side open there? Like, then you could just still walk in there.
Because it's gonna be completely different. It's a mental thing. You just think there's a gate there and you just, you don't go like.
Convenient, they have to drop down 2 feet, they have to go around the
Right,
fence.
it's just different. It's just different. You know there's something there, there's not a walk in there. But that's whatever you guys decide. The second thing we wanted is an 8-foot white fence.
6.
6 foot.
It's 2 feet down.
Yeah, it's 2 feet down, right. In front of the trees. So they'll be on their side and we can kill that headlight and you shine it off of there. And I thought there could be like 5 people leaving here tonight because it gets so much down around here. It might be happening sooner than later. Anyway, we'd be going in favor of those changes.
I'm in favor.
With the, I'm sorry.
No, I'm in favor. I like the idea of putting the fence here, putting the bushes on the opposite side, the other apartment building. I'm also in favor of putting a garage door in.
I concur with you.
Thank you.
I concur, correct.
Have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, ZBA 23-31, Ian McDermott for a special permit variance finding to demolish the existing 2-family home and construct a 4-story, 6-unit residential building with parking under the building on the premise numbered 5961 Spear Street, Quincy. I make a motion to grant the special permit variance finding.
Second.
With the fence inside.
With the fence on the inside
And-
of any landscaping
Yeah, right.
and an outside
Garage.
exterior garage.
Second?
Second.
On the motion, seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? So moved. Motion adjourned, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All set.